I'm Eric Reeser. The Cleveland Guardians are heading into the All-Star break on a 4-game winning streak. Guardians broke up the brooms on the Marlins over the weekend in Miami. Cleveland won yesterday 5-2. Guardians will begin the second half tied with the White Sox for the top spot in the AL Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati fell at home yesterday to the Cubs 8-4. MLB All-Star games tomorrow night in Philadelphia. The home run derby's tonight at 8. In college athletics, the University of Michigan could decide the fate of athletics director Ward Manuel in a meeting with the Board of Regents on Thursday. Back in December, the school commissioned a full investigation into their athletic department shortly after the firing of Coach Sharon Moore. After it was revealed he had an improper relationship with a former football staffer. That staffer is currently suing the school to release the findings of that investigation. This update is sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating and Cooling, together to serve you better. Scheduled today at thewaterworks.net. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo the boys with you for the next 3. Isaiah in for Bake. Reese is here, so we're in very good hands there. Loaded up for you. 10 o'clock, we're going to move it up an hour. Weekend Blitz comes at 10 o'clock. Austin Ward comes at 10:30 as is customary. 11 o'clock, and the reason for the move up, 20 Most Interesting Programs begins today. The subject of today's 20 Most Interesting has really been the program of the summer, Texas Tech. So all of that and a little bit of perspective on the Red Raiders and the Big 12 and the big plan there coming up in the 11 o'clock hour of the program. We finished the youth travel summer this weekend. This is our last one. So we did Indianapolis, which is obviously close, and then we did Richmond, Virginia, and then we did Baltimore, Maryland this week. So all 3 of the boys play. Basically, the way it worked out, almost all of these tournaments, the first game Saturdays were at 8 for all of them, and we were kind of all done by 2 o'clock is the way that it worked. So you just kind of bounced around fields, and the boys are in different locations. And this one in Baltimore, they were in different locations. There are a million little victories that you try to win as a youth sports parent. There's a million of them, and almost none of the million have anything to do with the result on the field. Almost none. All you're trying to do as a youth sports parent is get there relatively safely and make decent time, stay at a relatively decent hotel, have the car behave in an appropriate way, have traffic work in an appropriate way, have meals that are okay at best, get whatever sleep that you can, go from one location to the next and not lose anything. That's key. If you can somehow not lose an elbow pad, that's a win on a trip. All of these are the little victories that you're trying to make. But there's one big victory that's most important to me, and that is getting home in the most efficient way possible. This is all that matters to me. As soon as they're done with Saturday and their pool play, I'm looking at possible bracket results and seeing how long I'm going to have to stay. For example, yesterday in Baltimore, how late am I going to have to stay, and then add 400 miles to that, and that's my get home, right? So the NBC played in the championship at 1. So they played at 1 o'clock. They won it. And as soon as it goes final, we're about 5 minutes. They're up like 11-1. They kind of housed the team. And so as we're towards the end of it, I say to my wife, I'm going to go get him food. Everybody needs to use the bathroom right now. This is one of the rare youth sports events where you had like a physical concession stand, like a brick and mortar concession that had a bunch of different food options, wraps, all sorts of stuff. Bathrooms were air conditioning. Like, this is not the norm. Normally it's porta potty and food trucks that aren't any good. I mean, that's usually what I did. This was like pretty legit. So I go and get NBC his food. I say to Bootsy and Beamsy, go to the bathroom right now. Let's go. Let's get it done. Knock it out. Make sure you do number one, number two, all the things that you need to do. We're going to do it right now. There's no stopping along the way that's going to be better than this. Let's knock it out. So everybody acquiesces. So we do the celebratory pictures. Okay, great. Let's get everybody going. Bye to everybody. Thanks for coaching. See you guys next summer. All the best. Let's hop in the car. We get in the car, and the Waze machine says 5 hours, 44 minutes to home. Okay, so that's leaving at 2 o'clock. It had a 7:44 arrival is what the Waze had. Okay, I can live with that. I can be home. We can have a decent meal. That's fine. Well, we start going and look back in the rearview mirror. Bootsy's asleep. Now, if you've ever driven along the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you know that it's essentially Talladega with really high rent. You pay $100 to drive across the state of Pennsylvania, to drive bumper to bumper, 85 miles an hour. If there is an accident, just forget it. You're not getting home till 3 days from now. There's no way that there's nowhere to go. It's all in the mountains. It's all turny. There's nothing you can do. So you hope for the best. So we're zipping along. Zipping along, zipping along, zipping along. All of a sudden, we're like 100 miles from home, and we haven't stopped. No potty breaks. No, I'm starving. No, I need a drink. No construction. No accidents. Guys, we've actually made up time. Instead of 7:44, it's now showing 7:33. My wife looks over and she goes, should we just keep going? Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Boys haven't said anything yet. Still cruising. I think we're going to make it. Beamsy's 20 miles from home, and he goes, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, you're in luck, brother. We're home in 20 minutes. It was a perfect game. It's never happened in all the family travels. I've never encountered anything like it. 400 miles, not one stop, not one delay, not anything. Got home 10 minutes ahead of schedule. I have 3 children and a wife. Normally, that is a 3-stop minimum 3-stopper. Somehow, the stars aligned. And for one day, all my stuff worked. Batters couldn't hit anything. Couldn't see it. I was feeling it, grooving it. Perfect game. It's honestly, of all of the things accomplished, and I'd have medium accomplishments at best, this may be the greatest accomplishment of my life. To get home 10 minutes ahead of schedule, to drive 400 miles and not have to stop, I've never been more proud. When we got home, I just embraced them all. Job well done. Job well done. Sturdy handshake for the oldest. Good job out of you. Just an incredible experience all the way around. Probably my greatest road trip accomplishment. 10 minutes ahead of schedule, no stops. 400 miles. It'll never happen again.
They hang banners for that.
That's what I think, Reese.
I mean, that's where we're going with this. But how's everybody feeling this
miles.
morning? Yeah.
400 miles.
Does anybody else in your family have just the sense either yesterday, late in the evening, or this morning of the accomplishment yesterday? Or is
Bootsy in anticipation for, I think he maybe knew in his head what I was going for. He actually tried going to the bathroom 3 times before we stopped. Because you will recall on the trip to Richmond, he was the one who I said, well, just pee in the water bottle. Mm-hmm. Just go ahead and do that. And so he did not want to repeat that. So he went to the bathroom 3 times in 10 minutes, and I appreciated that effort.
I'm so used to the stories out of you where things are going well and then
me too.
Like the shoe drops. Mm-hmm. And I wondered, as you were saying, the family flying through the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I'm like, and then there was the officer. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. But nothing.
No, Reese, they don't patrol the Pennsylvania Turnpike, as it turns out. They don't believe in law enforcement.
Yeah, that's true. They just
that sucker.
Hope you follow the rules.
Best of luck, kids.
It's Jesus, take these wheels.
That's all it is. They don't believe in it. They don't enforce anything. It's the only state that you can drive the entire width of, which I did. You can drive the entire width of and not see a single highway patrolman ever. Waze at no point says, police officer noted ahead. Nothing. Just go. As fast as you want, as long as you want. Pray to God there's not an accident. That's all you can do. Because if then you're done. If that happens, you're absolutely cooked. But this was it, man. What a way to finish this.
About to say, that's the perfect ending for all of this.
I was waiting for the butt. The whole time I'm just, there's a butt.
Yeah.
Here comes the butt.
No butts. No, completely smooth. Completely smooth. And anybody who is, I mean, even if you're just, I don't know how you guys are on road trips, but like, I just want to get to destination. So every time, and this is if I fly, drive, whatever, I will suffer in the process of getting to destination for more time at destination. So to have it all align, it's an all-timer. There's no beating it. Now, I'm sure I fly to Montana on Sunday. I'm sure I'll be stuck in Chicago and miss
It'll
flights.
be fine. Smooth sailing to Montana.
All of the rest of it goes straight.
I think they've got a heat dome there this week.
Oh my God!
Like
they got a lot going on out there.
Are you seeing some of the weather forecasts for that area?
So yeah, my dad,
Records.
who apparently the only thing my father and I really have, and we don't even have this in common because we live across the country from one another, but he really likes to tell me the temperature where I grew up. Like pretty regularly. On a day, he will tell me how much rain they've had in the month. He will tell me the temperature for the day, it's always how much they need rain. There never is a point where he's like, oh, we have an abundance, an abundanza of rain. It's never that. They always need rain. And yes, he sent me 110 degrees yesterday. That's not normal, kids. That's going to burn crops into the ground is what that's going to do. So, but I think it's going to be cooler next week when we're there. We'll see. But a lot of those places, a lot of like where I grew up and stuff, we didn't even have air conditioning. So that's pure joy when you're dealing with that. I said, Dad, you could retrofit the house with that.
They have the technology.
Yeah. They can throw one of those in there for you. Oh, it's fine. Okay. All right. I guess we'll see. Big program for you. As I mentioned, 20 most interesting programs. Some trouble up at Michigan. We will get to that coming up next. We're off and running on a Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the O on Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the O on Lane, where the night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Every summer morning is different. Luckily, Tim Hortons has a breakfast wrap for every morning. Kick off your summer with the bold new steak and egg wrap. Start your morning fresh with the egg white and Swiss wrap. Or keep it classic with the grilled breakfast wrap. No matter what summer mood you're in, you can always find a wrap at Tim Hortons. Your morning happy place.
This is Gordon Miller for Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. As a third-generation family-owned business, I learned early on the importance of relationships and always looking out for the best interest of the consumer. So back in 1987, I witnessed firsthand how closing costs worked and did not like what I saw. Averaging upwards of $15,000, the cost of refinancing was so high, it prevented borrowers from lowering their payment, while the cash to close on a purchase was doubled. That's insane. So 39 years ago, I developed a loan option without any cost at all. Instead of using your money, we used the lender's money. The result? A zero closing cost mortgage. Fast forward to today, and we've now saved consumers over $500 million in needless fees. So before you hand your money over to your lender, call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is right for you. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people. and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
It's a busy intersection in your neighborhood. Drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians all moving with their own destinations in mind. Think of the roadway like an ecosystem. Every move affects someone else. And whether you're behind the wheel, on 2 wheels, or on foot, the road is full of signs, signals, and people telling you what's ahead. When we anticipate what's happening around us, when we're predictable, when we share the space, everything is safer. There's space for all of us. Read the road, Ohio. Brought to you by the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
That mostly sunny sky for the morning hours continues right into the afternoon. There's a very slim chance of a passing shower later on. Otherwise, it's warm, highs in the upper 80s to around 90. Warmer yet for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine with highs in lower 90s. Heat index well into the 90s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
I guess what I would ask the folks up at Michigan, was it all worth it? Was all of it worth it? And my guess is the answer to that is yeah. Yeah. Probably was all worth it. They won a national championship in football. They won a national championship in men's basketball. They did both during all of this scandal-ridden time of their athletic department. And it's not one scandal. It's pick one. There's 1,000 things that were going on up there. And it was all under the watchful eye of Ward Manuel. And he survived a power struggle with a president a couple of years ago. And he hired coaches who won, did it in the case of Jim Harbaugh in unscrupulous fashion, but nevertheless won. And we're probably always going to be a little bitter about it around here, and there's probably some folks in East Lansing and maybe some other Big Ten locations that are going to be a little bitter about it. But for the most part, the rest of the country is going to forget that it ever happened, and they're going to move on, and they're going to see the banner, and they're going to forget about the Sharon Moore footnote that happened. And it's a big footnote that happened with this. He was always the patsy, but he oversaw this athletic department for its most successful and most tumultuous time by far. I mean, it is. And now his future is a little bit in doubt. A lot of reporting on this. Ross Dellinger, who's all over all of this stuff, the future of Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel is in doubt in the wake of a report of internal investigation around the Sharon Moore saga. Michigan board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, where officials are expected to further respond to the report. Another one from Austin Meek on this. Michigan has a board meeting Thursday. Officials could address investigations into Sharon Moore and UM's athletic department. One of the university spokesperson said, as of now, we do not plan to release anything from Jenner and Block this week. So this is part of a lawsuit in terms of the aggrieved and the Sharon Moore part. I am curious to see what becomes of Michigan athletics over the next 5 to 10 years. Because you now have hired the interim on the basketball side with Dusty May gone. they're going to have money, and money's going to talk. So that's going to be a little bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. And you have Kyle Whittingham coaching football. This is a man, don't look it, but he's a man in his 60s who spent the last 20 years at Utah, not in this part of the country at all. And I know he's a hell of a football coach, but it takes a little bit more than that in this day and age. This almost seems like a reset for them across the board, and they probably need it. I'll pose a question to you guys. They would do it again, would they not?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So they spent reportedly $11-12 million on this athletic department investigation. It was commissioned back in December. And that feels like fun coupons for them, with a massive endowment, with the Oracle guy cutting checks because his wife's a Michigan fan. This for them is all about winning on the field. And doing that in this day and age is almost however you can do that, do it. Ward Manuel, he oversaw it all, but it kind of felt like he let the inmates run the asylum, definitely let Jim Harbaugh do whatever he wanted to do. It sounds like some of the readings he ran point in trying to distract and not keep the regents abreast to what was going on, hence this report and investigation. But Ward Manuel's Jim Harbaugh's buddy. Yeah. And they played together at the University of Michigan, and the University of Michigan was winning football games, leading up to winning the national championship. Like, you're not taking the banner down. You're not adding an asterisk to it based off of what happens Thursday, if anything does happen Thursday. And then similarly with Dusty May, I don't think Juwan Howard was a Ward Manuel decision. It was one of those, well, he's a Michigan guy. He's basketball, there was a lot of fanfare, bringing the former player, signed a great recruiting class. He had him. Was it year 2 after? Beeline didn't leave the cupboard empty.
No.
So they're winning right away, and then that fell apart a little bit. But year 1 under Dusty May, pretty good. Year 2, you did it all again. Incredible success with winning in sports that mattered for the University of Michigan. So whatever happens Thursday, they're fine with this.
I don't think there's many programs across the country that would be against it. And we talked about this with Sorsby. I think a lot of people would be really uncomfortable with how many programs and how many schools would have done similarly to what Texas Tech did. And so at this point, with the Michigan backlash that they're going to get over the course of probably whenever these championships are brought up, at least the football one, there's always going to be asterisks next to it. But every Michigan fan is very happy that everything panned out the way it did.
Yeah, I think the penalty of it will be found. That's why I think the next 3 to 5 years, I said 5 to 10. I really should have went 3 to 5. Next 3 to 5 years are going to be very fascinating up there. Because are they, to me, from 3 hours south, to me it looks like they're headed for a dip across the board, like pretty substantial dip. I think Kyle Whittingham will do a fine job there, but he is married to a quarterback that he did not pick, and to me, I think they're headed for they'll obviously be one of the 20 most interesting because they're Michigan, but I don't see it this year for them. And I know he's a very good coach. There's very few coaches you could respect more over the last 20 years. One of the most successful, does it the right way guys you're going to find. To me, it just seems very ill-fitting, him there. And that, to me, is just an odd spot. It feels a little bit like Kelly at LSU.
Well, we're used to goofballs and miscreants.
Right. He's not.
Rich Rodriguez, goofball. Brady Hoke, insane goofball. Jim Harbaugh, completely, utterly, totally insane. Milk-chugging, khaki pants-wearing goofball.
That's a good point.
Even Lloyd Carr was a villain. Lloyd Carr was respected, I think, especially around here because of what you had, with him in Michigan's heyday. But then after Lloyd, it's all a bunch of weirdos. And this doesn't fit that weird. Even Sharon Moore's the patsy. And so you couldn't ever take him seriously because you knew it was coming with Michigan. But now here's Kyle Whittingham, who is universally respected in college football. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, I think that if he'll have enough recruiting-wise, and I think there's going to be enough of a bump that they'll be a respectable team this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that them contending for titles, though, is going to be a bygone era a little bit.
You make the playoff.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be where their patience runs out with not competing for it, with not playing in the national championship game, because I think that's a way off for this football team.
And the Big Ten's really strong right now, too. where with Indiana and Oregon and even Washington and USC and where Ohio State is. I think a couple of years ago in the older version of the Big Ten, this Michigan team, if the playoff was like how it is now, would be almost automatic in it every single year, even as it is now. But I think with the strength of the Big Ten kind of getting pushed up recently, it'll be a little bit tougher for them to make the 12 team.
Here's one for you. In the next 5 years, who has the better record, Penn State or Michigan? And do we think, actually, and maybe maybe we put that on the poll. The other thing that I think you could add to that is, will both of those guys be there in 5 years?
Yes to that question, but it's a good one to throw out there. I think because Penn State doesn't have to face Ohio State every year, then it's Penn State by a nose.
I would take Penn State with the also asterisk that Bryce Underwood could change that. Depending on how he looks this season and the following year, he's the one thing for me. If he pans out, they're going to be good. But right now, it doesn't feel like it's trending in that direction, but he has the ability to carry them by himself.
Yeah, I mean, we think. I mean, the only thing we know of him is what he was in high school and all of that. And so we saw some flashes last year, but he was pretty lost, obviously, in the game against us. The thing that I think is going to be interesting about those two programs is, can either one of those, both of those guys were at second citizen universities in their own state. Like Iowa State's the second citizen in Iowa. Utah's the second citizen to BYU in those states. They're second. They're not the blue blood even in their own states, and their own states are not blue blood states for college athletics anyway. Neither one of them are. They're B tier. They're not A, and they're surely not S. So now all of a sudden you go to a place like Michigan and Penn State. Can you sell that? Can you sell those programs? And can you recruit it? Can you, all of the things that are required to be at a level that Ohio State's at, that Oregon's at, can you do that? Because both of them are a little fish out of water. I mean, they're both more fish out of water in those places than like Lincoln Riley is almost at USC to me. Now, Penn State's going to be that'll be an interesting one to see if he, gets his feet under him and can go. I would probably go with you guys. I'd probably think in the next 3 to 5 years, Penn State will win more than Michigan. That's my guess. I think that he knows the area well from the region. That to me feels like there's a puncher's chance there at Penn State. But I think that's a very interesting one. Which one of those two programs will have the better record in football over the next 5 years? And my lean is slightly Penn State, but I think both of them are in for a little bit of an awakening for even Penn State for, I can't believe I'm saying this, but how good they kind of had it under Franklin, winning 10 games every year. Always lost to us, lost to Michigan, but they won 10 every year.
I think it's the Nebraska thing.
It is, yeah.
Be careful. Yeah. Like, you don't like 9-10 wins. Okay, how's about 5 or 6?
Yeah, I think so too. So something to watch, and perhaps we'll find out Thursday if there's new leadership up at the University of Michigan. One of the things that's going to be a heavy topic here over the next 4 weeks is college football as we ramp up to Ohio State's open practices that first full week in August, where we will be broadcasting live. 20 most interesting programs. It starts today. How did it start? What are we looking for? What intrigues us about these 20 teams? We get to it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has earned the trust of homeowners by putting customers first and giving back to the communities we serve. From roofing and siding to gutters, every project gets the white glove treatment. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down. Plus tax, title, first month's payment. 7,500 miles per year. Ends 8-3.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
All right, here's what's up on a Monday edition of the program. 20 most interesting programs for us starts today. Texas Tech will be in the spotlight. And this is the ramp up, right? We saw this last week with Big 12 Media Days. So you got kind of your first day taste of college football, a little bit of contentious back and forth between a Texas Tech reporter and Brett Yormark. And we asked the question, what is the plan for that conference over the next 5 years? What are they around in 5 to 10 years? I kind of think that they're a cockroach, and I think they're going to be really hard to kill, and I think that they will be alive because I think they kind of have found their niche a little bit in terms of what they're trying to be. ACC Media Days this week in Charlotte. One of the major talking points for that is we're a couple of years out from you being able to have some mass exodus, because this starts to get pretty affordable for teams like Florida State and Miami, those type of programs, to bounce from the ACC if they want to in a couple of years. So their media day will be this week. The week after that will be SEC Media Days, presented by Regions. You're going to catch a theme here. That one's down in Tampa. That's been in Birmingham forever. I'm shocked that they took that one down to Tampa. That's very surprising to me. That's a long way. You don't realize how far it is from some of those places. One of the big keys to SEC Media Days all these years and all the success they had, usually in Nashville, in Atlanta, in Birmingham, almost always in Birmingham for the longest time. And it's very drivable for most of the people who cover that conference. And so Tampa, not quite as drivable. That's a long ways from Tampa to Baton Rouge, for example. Certainly all of the rest of it is flights when you think about the Texas schools and the rest of it. Big Ten Media Days, again, this is a common theme for us. I don't understand why we do this so late. It's the 28th through the 30th. I guess kind of the only thing that's a little helpful with it is it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're out of there by Wednesday. But guess what else is that time? NFL training camps. So in terms of big national attention, most of it's going to be around NFL camps and new faces, new places, those type of things around the NFL. So the SEC is going to have that week of July 20th through the 23rd to themselves, and they probably end up winning with this thing. But the Big Ten's winning on the field. We came up with 20 most interesting when James and I were doing the show years ago. I mean, this is probably 7 years ago, something like that, 8 years ago. I think we did it the very first summer. And my thinking with it was we are going to obviously pay attention to the Buckeyes the most. But in terms of who are the other teams that we ought to be paying attention to for myriad reasons around the country? So what I mean by that is contenders. Who are the threats? And there's a bunch of them. And as I was going through the list this year, there's upwards of a dozen teams that you could talk yourself into, maybe more, that could win the national championship. In that sense, for all of my problems with the calendar and everything else, the 12-team playoff has worked. The 12-team playoff in conjunction with NIL and free transfer has allowed for kind of an evening out of college football at the top. When you go back to when we first started doing this, I would say probably in the summer of 2018, so 8 seasons we've been doing this. That was the first one we did it. And we used to do this thing, Buckeyes, Georgia, Bama, or field. You can have those three of the field. And most of the time you'd take those three. You take those three. And you could roll the dice with Clemson if you'd like and take them as part of the field. But you give me the Buckeyes, the Dogs, and the Tide, and pretty confident that one of those three teams is going to win the national title. I don't think you can do that anymore. And I think that's the biggest difference in the last 8 years on the field. All of these off-field decisions that have been made have allowed for an evening out at the top of the sport. And the best example of where this has come home to roost is at the University of Alabama. There was a time where, and this isn't hard, and Georgia's right there too, You could go to 24/7, and you could look at recruiting classes during Saban's tenure at Alabama. I think I did this. I did this a couple years ago. I don't think he ever finished worse than second in the cumulative recruiting classes. Kirby's always been a top 3 recruiter at Georgia, and a lot of times they would win it since he's been there. And same thing here with Urban and Ryan. There were a couple of times where maybe they had the 5 class, but they were always a top 5 class. And what has happened is, and Alabama's the best example, there's no program depth anymore. There just isn't. So when a 5-star leaves and goes to the NFL, you don't have another guy who sat for a year or 2 ready to go. You're having to do shotgun marriages in the portal and bring in starters. We did it. Look at our defense this year. Buckeyes will be obviously the most interesting. We'll do them on that Friday when we're out at Ohio State open practices. We'll do the Buckeyes that day. And the reality is there's a bunch of guys we got to get to know. And that didn't used to be the case. And so when you do 20 most interesting now, there's some schools that are going to be on this list that have no shot at a national title. But are they coming? Are they headed in the right direction? Are they a program we're going to have to watch out for? When you talk about the group of 6, is there a team there that could make this more interesting than they've made it in previous years? Are there teams with new money? We're going to do a new money team today. Texas Tech's a new money team. SMU's a new money team. Texas A&M. There's a lot of them and the oil teams. A lot of them. Can they make immediate impacts on that? So those are all the factors that come into play on this one. There obviously are going to be some repeats because for all of the change in the sport, there are some certainties that are out there. Georgia will be on this list. Bama will be on this list. Texas will be on this list. Oregon, those type of teams are all going to be on there because you got to get to know the teams that you're going to compete against. But there's some new faces too. And the biggest difference, I think, guys, is just that for all of the, and I don't know if this was an intended consequence of all of this or an unintended consequence of all this, but we have a wide open college football now. And that's not something that we enjoyed 8 years ago when we first started doing this, Reese.
I think it was certainly unintended. I don't know if Nick Saban could have foreseen exactly how this was going to go when they were stockpiling 5 stars and just stashing them away on their rosters. I mean, Ohio State and Georgia were doing it similarly, but now you've got those guys taking other opportunities. Like, if you'd have told me an offensive tackle, I want to say, for Notre Dame last season, moved over and now got to play for Indiana in their national championship team, be like, well, that's insane. Why would he ever leave Notre Dame? Like, what?
Right.
In what world are you making that move? And then Indiana becomes one of the losingest college football programs in 2 seasons, is your national champion. This is insane. This is crazy talk. One of the things that we haven't mentioned, just because it's been a minute, is the 51 new faces for Ryan Day and company. But that's happening all over the country. And some teams are even more aggressive than that. At least they've been doing that kind of transfer portal transitioning. I mean, Deion Sanders came in year 1 to Colorado and did that. And so I don't think anybody thought that was going to go that crazy. Certainly, I didn't think you looked at Deion Sanders and be like, yeah, that all the other schools are doing it now. The Louis luggage thing was bold. It was a bold thing to say, but here we all doing it. There's guys on the roster that you recruited. They're not getting it done. Then you've got to go. I mean, the Texas Tech team that we will talk about in the 11 o'clock hour, their entire new defensive front, portal persons. Their quarterback situation. Like, did you imagine telling somebody 5 years ago about how Brendan Sorsby came to be?
No.
And how he went from, if I can get this right, Indiana to Cincinnati, now to Texas Tech, and he's no longer playing college football.
That's right. Yeah.
Because of this system that we have.
And the crazy part for me as well is the depth is the biggest difference maker. Like, heading into the college football playoff, and we saw it last year with Ohio State, I mean, it's completely changing the way that head coaches are even attacking the game. Like, they're changing the way that how many players they're trying to run in the game. We saw with Ohio State slowing the ball down and trying to hoard it on offense the entire season, because at the end of the day, once you get to the playoff, the actual value of the players on the field is so much more now, because you don't have the 5 stars that are sitting behind Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson waiting to step in and play. Like, you don't have guys on the bench that are like, okay, we can just plug and play these guys now. You probably have your 20 starters that are on the field, and after that, there's not a whole lot more if you get banged up a little bit. And so once you get to the actual run, trying to play 4 or 5 games in the playoff, it's who's the healthiest, because the margin of error between these teams is not like it used to be.
No, and look what you just did there. You used Ohio State receivers as an example. Well, we had 2 backup 5-star receivers. They're going to start at Notre Dame this year.
Yep.
Mylan Graham, Quincy Porter at Notre Dame. That never would have happened 5 years ago. Never. But you have to make business decisions. And so when that happens, you're going to have people that are going to overpay for guys on your roster. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's an appropriate pay. You mentioned the tackle from Notre Dame to Indiana. Like, this is the world we're now in, and there's a mess around all of it. But one of the byproducts is you have a wide open college football. I mean, you look at this. Upwards of 15 teams? Like, would I be shocked? When we go through this, guys, and we'll do Texas Tech today, like, would I be shocked if Texas Tech won the national title? How can I possibly be shocked if Texas Tech wins a national title? I just saw flipping Indiana win the national title.
Yeah, nothing surprising anymore.
I'm done. I'm done. I've seen it all now. Indiana had one of the greatest seasons in the history of the sport. That happened. He flipped it in 2 years. Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman, went number 1 overall, had a perfect season quarterbacking Indiana. They won the national title. That happened. Nothing shocks now. You could talk me into anything. That is as wide open as this thing could be. Go ahead, Isaiah.
And isn't it funny, Bo, when we talk about how much has changed, and a lot of people still really like the way it used to be, and everyone is just craving how college football used to be. But it's funny because in the previous years, it was, okay, there's 3 teams that can win the national championship, and that's it. Like, is it more fun now because there's more teams every single year that are included that can win? Or is it more fun when it was 3 or 4 teams that you know are at the top, but there was stuff for other teams to play for as well? The bowl games meant things then. So it's just kind of a give and take. I know a lot of people miss the old days, but it does make it more available for national championships across the entire country now than it ever was before.
Ever was. Yes, 100%.
I just don't miss the old bowls anymore.
No, I don't care about those.
I don't care. I don't want it to expand the playoff, but I think they're doing it a better way.
Yeah. I think you're not far. I think the simplest way to summarize this is this: your on-field product has never been better for more programs to compete at the ultimate level. Off the field, it's kind of like a hot dog.
It's funky.
Yeah, it's you don't want to know. Don't ask. Don't worry about what's in it. It tastes good. Dress it the way you want. Enjoy it. Suck it down. You don't need to know how it's made. Yes, I did see the Bison video. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Every summer morning is different. Luckily, Tim Hortons has a breakfast wrap for every morning. Kick off your summer with the bold new steak and egg wrap. Start your morning fresh with the egg white and Swiss wrap. Or keep it classic with the grilled breakfast wrap. No matter what summer mood you're in, you can always find a wrap at Tim Hortons. Your morning happy place.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the O-On Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the O-On Lane, where the night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Baths R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loans and no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
1 million is the kind of number you see on a scoreboard and double check to make sure it isn't broken. Hey, it's Austin Ward here. 1 million seconds is almost 12 days. 1 million minutes is almost 2 years. Now make it £1,000,000, because that's what Awaken 180 clients have crossed. 1 million pounds lost, and by the time you're hearing this, that number is already bigger. I know what my 50 pounds changed for me thanks to Awaken 180, which was basically everything. So when Paige told me the news, I didn't hear a corporate milestone. I heard my 50 stacked in with everybody else's. Scale after scale, belt notch after belt notch, person after person, realizing this time is different. That's not one success story, that's thousands and counting. Awaken 180 gives you the plan, the food, the coaching, the adjustments, and free support for life. The next story should be yours. Awaken180weightloss.com.
ESPN senior NFL insider Adam Schefter joins Rothman and Ice every Wednesday at 12:30, and he works blue.
Okay. The NFL Playbook with Adam Schefter is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Indeed it is. The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Guys, simply put, homes in Columbus are under constant attack by pests like termites, ants, mice. Don't wait for an invasion. Protect your property and family with Rose Pest Solutions Home Service Program. The Rose Home Service Program provides year-round protection for one flat annual fee with regularly scheduled visits. Rose is local, family-owned, trusted by your neighbors in Ohio for 165 years. Get peace of mind today. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. Reese, when did you become aware of the bison video?
Sunday morning. It was everywhere. You couldn't open a social media app without seeing some person just go 10 feet in the air because he decided to take a picture of a bison.
So I was at youth lacrosse, and in many instances, you're watching games and you're keeping tabs on those things. So I was off of social media, and I saw, when I got home last night, I opened up the X platform and I saw that you put it out from the show page, and then I had probably 60 mentions.
Sorry,
of people saying, "Hey, dude, Uncle Bo warned you." Yes, I did,
and you have several
times. Many times, yeah. And so this was, if you haven't seen this, if you're like Peterman and you're living in a cave in Burma and you missed this thing, there is a bull bison. This is in Yellowstone National Park. And there's a bull bison. And he's, as someone who's been around animals a lot, what he's doing is he's sowing his oats a little bit. He's feeling pretty aggressive. He's rolling around. He may even have, a bug or a horsefly or something that's biting at the hump on his back, whatever. And he's rolling around, and you see two people who are a decent distance away. To me, it looks like 20 yards, something like that. I'm sure in their mind, they thought a decent distance away from this guy. This isn't one where they were trying to pet it. I've seen that. I famously told the story of my dad when the first time I took my wife to Yellowstone, when this was 20 years ago. My mom was still alive, and we were driving through the Lamar Valley, and all of a sudden all the cars stopped and people started getting out of their cars, And I jumped out of the car. I'm like, I got to see what this is. So I hopped out, and immediately I went, oh, dear God, it's a grizzly bear. And I jumped right back in the car, and it was 30 yards away. Meantime, and unfortunately for my wife, native Ohioan, a lady from Ohio, I'll never forget this, started walking towards the grizzly bear, and my dad rolled down the window, and he said, ma'am, this is not a Blanken Zoo. And somehow that clicked, and she went and ran and got back into her car. But Yellowstone warns you of this. They say, do not approach the animals. Do not be out amongst the animals. This isn't a zoo, but there are so many animals in Yellowstone, and you see them. For example, like if you drive through Gardner, which is one of the Montana entrances to Yellowstone National Park, there are very regularly entire herds of elk just in the streets. Like they're in the park. Like they're just, now, if one of them's in a bad mood, you're not going to do a whole lot to stop it, right? So I just think people get accustomed to it. Normally, I would come on here and like bang the guy for saying, you know, what are you doing, you idiot? It's not a zoo, but he's at a decent distance. And the reality of it, though, is if you're dealing with a male bison, there is no decent distance. There isn't. It's a 1-ton animal.
Yeah, that closing speed was pretty incredible.
No. Dude, that sucker's running a 4.2. You're not outrunning it. There's no chance. So, and by the way, there's no bear spray or pepper spray that's going to stop it either at that point. Like the only way you're going to stop it there is unfortunately a final solution with the bison. But that isn't allowed in the park anyway, and God knows you don't want tourists shooting animals. So the whole thing is just, I guess the lesson here, kids, is stay in your cars at a lot of these places and walk away. I think probably the mistake they made, Reese, is the guy did stop to kind of like make eye contact and take a picture.
That's the thing I can't get over.
Engaged.
It is because it's in a picnic area, so
it is.
I'm sure they felt like, well, we can be here. What's the problem? But the idea that they kind of stopped to gawk at the thing, I would hope that in that situation, I would just do what I can to get as far away from it as possible and not look at it.
Keep walking.
Yeah. Or get in a car or get in somebody's car. I see a truck bed. I see an SUV. In the video, it's up at 971 BFS.
Yeah.
I think the tourist was seriously injured, but is doing better.
Yeah. He went, and it's a big dude. He flung him 10, 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
The guy's actually lucky that he didn't die. He actually kind of lands on his back, kind of up against a tree. I mean, the tree probably saved him, honestly. Because that kind of broke his fall a little bit. But, like, there's a still of it, and it's crazy that someone was filming while this whole thing was going on because everybody has a phone now. But I think the tree probably saved him a little bit.
And it's funny, too, because I love reading the comments on X and people asking Grok on there, if we're in this situation, this is my favorite one, should we punch the bison in the nose to disable it?
Yes.
Grok answers back, no, punching a bison in the nose is a terrible idea. These 2,000-pound animals are built like tanks. A punch won't disable it and will probably just get you tossed harder. I always think whenever people ask, like, what should you do if you're in a situation with a grizzly bear or a bison or even people talk about hitting sharks in the nose. I'm like, if you're close enough to touch the animal, you've made a lot of mistakes previously to where you've gotten yourself here. There's not a lot you can do at this point.
On the bison front, at that point, he's cooked. If that guy wants to get him, that bison, you just got to hope he gets bored of you and try to get something between you and the animal. That's your best chance. But that's it. At one point, he kind of gets on the other side of a grove, a little small tree grove, and I think he thought he was okay, and the bison blasted through it, and that was it. Yeah, I mean, like a grizzly bear, if you head out there, and I know a lot of folks head out there this time of year, if you're like hiking in Glacier, just be really loud. Like talk a lot, make a lot of noise, because they really don't want to mess with you any more than you want any piece of them. So just be loud on that front. And then a grizzly bear will stop with bear spray or pepper spray. They will stop. Like they don't. If you hit them with that, and those really project a long ways, they'll turn tail and go the other way. A bison's impervious to that. Like if there's nothing stopping them, man. And the people have no idea how big those things are. Absolutely none. What else? Reese, what is going? Is LeBron James a Cavalier yet? I mean, it's July 13th. Is he a Cav or what? What are we doing?
As we get closer to the end of July, I think we are closing in on a LeBron return. So the Cavs are in Las Vegas, or at least some members, including Malachi Branham, who was signed by the Cleveland Charge back in March. They're in Las Vegas for one of several Summer League sessions. Here was Atkinson on the broadcast hinting at a possible free agent big fish.
And then you guys know there's a little free agency thing going on right now, so you never know what that could be our real jump. Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about. So that's exciting too.
So he's like, oh, you know what I'm talking about. And of course, everybody's like, oh, LeBron. After the game, he was asked about it.
Listen, this is an exciting time for us, right? Like we're in the mix for the greatest player of all time. My personal opinion. So it's exciting, right? Like, man, I think you're nervous. We understand how it is. Obviously, he's earned that right to take his time. Obviously, family plays a big part of it. But I know the state of Ohio, man, that there's something special there.
I would just say be careful, because the last Cleveland coach who was mid-tenure when LeBron parachuted in was the fighter pilot David Blatt, and he got ejected.
He did.
So make sure everybody's on the same page with this.
Well, it reminded me when was it Byron Scott they hired, who thought he was going to coach him? Who was it?
They had David Blatt. So it was
no. Before that, though, like when LeBron was leaving, I'm talking about
this was the decision?
Yeah, the decision one. They had hired a coach. And I want to say it was Byron Scott. And like he would go to LeBron was running a camp in Akron. I think it was Byron Scott. Do I have that
sounds right?
I think so.
Yes, because he was hired in 2010. So Byron Scott went in thinking I might be able to coach LeBron.
Yeah, and his whole thing, because he had coached the Lakers, and he was like, oh, I coach Kobe, I'm going to coach LeBron. And he was like going to the LeBron camp, trying to talk to LeBron, and LeBron ghosted him. And he's like, oh, I guess I'm not coaching him. So it feels like a fait accompli. My guess is they're documenting all of this for some sort of documentary or something, and he'll end up being a Cavalier. But it's the fact that we're still talking about it's pretty wild. Second hour of the program coming up next. Austin Ward at 10:30. We blitz the weekend off the top. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY. And when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
There's something that has always made small towns and great communities strong. It's not the buildings themselves, but the people and who show up for them. The businesses that don't disappear when the work is done. The ones that sponsor the local festivals, cheer from the sidelines, lend a hand when needed, and take pride in calling this place home. For more than 30 years, that's exactly who Newman Roofing has been. Yes, they install roofs, siding, and gutters, but what homeowners remember is how they're treated. The straight answers, the respect for your home, job sites left cleaner than they found them, and craftsmanship that's built to last. Because when you live where you work, every customer is also a neighbor. That's why Newman Roofing has spent decades investing in this community, earning trust one family at a time. Newman Roofing, treating you like family and our community like home. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Awkward time to ask this, but hey, did you download the trail map?
Yeah, no, I don't need to.
I don't understand. You're trusting your signal out here?
Well, I'm trusting T-Mobile. They have the best network. And if we end up in bum-tots nowhere, well, we've got T-Satellite for backup.
Whoa, I don't trust my carrier that much.
We'll just use your phone as a flashlight.
With America's best network and T-Satellite, we're keeping you connected in places you never thought possible. And if you switch today, you get free phones for $0 down and only $25 a month per line for 4 lines. Find out more at T-Mobile.com or visit your local store.
Best mobile network based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data to age 2025 with 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on essentials. For well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 connection charge per line. Credits end in balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement example $299.99 Moto Edge 5G required. T-Satellite available with compatible device in most outdoor areas in the U.S. where you can see the sky. Included with experience beyond or $10 a month. Auto renews monthly. Cancel anytime. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Scotty Vegas here, and my new Bronco from Krieger Ford might go down as one of my best purchases of all time. I love it. The family loves it. I decided to get my wife's car some much-needed service. Krieger Ford conveniently picked up her car. I was prepared to spend a ton on repairs. Nope. They walked me through the problems, and it was fixed and brought back to our driveway in a day. Plus, saved me some money for some summertime parlays. The Krieger Ford experience is awesome. See for yourself at KriegerFord.com.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hired them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get Eco.
ECO. You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get Eco.
ECO. Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. Sir, you're going to need a Netflix account or a friend with one to watch tonight's Home Run Derby. The All-Star festivities are in Philadelphia this year. 8 players will participate in tonight's new look Derby, which is doing away with the clock format. Derby begins at 8. The All-Star game is going to be on Tuesday. In college athletics, the University of Michigan could decide the fate of athletics director Ward Manuel in a meeting with the Board of Regents on Thursday. Back in December, the school commissioned a full investigation into the athletics department shortly after the firing of football coach Sharon Moore because he had an improper relationship with a former staffer. That staffer is currently suing the school to release the findings of that investigation. And actor Sam Neill, who played Dr. Alan Grant in the Jurassic Park movies, passed away this morning at the age of 78. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Monday edition of the program. Austin coming up in 27 minutes from now. I like you put Sam Neill in there, Reese. Everything he showed up in. I mean, he was incredible in Peaky Blinders. Yeah. Awesome in that. Jurassic Park, obviously. He's great in The Hunt for Red October. He's the famously, I would have liked to have seen Montana. Like, just everything he was in, crushed. Absolutely crushed. And for the longest time, I had no idea he was English. Or is he Irish, Scottish? He's from Great Britain somewhere.
It's Irish, I think.
Is it Irish? Yeah.
I think.
Had no idea. But he's spectacular in everything he was in. All right, time to blitz the weekend. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
Sponsored by Metal Supermarkets. Visit metalsupermarkets.com/Columbus for all your metal needs.
All I believe I had that. Reese, what did you have this weekend?
Well, I guess I'll start with what I didn't have. Sam Neill's from New Zealand.
Oh, my gosh.
So
neither one of us had that.
I did have on Friday, I remember, it was Thursday. I didn't have the last day I worked. I remember looking to Baker be like, Conor McGregor's not trying to sell a UFC fight, right? This guy's past his prime. And Baker's like, no, man, there's a lot of hype around this fight. And then 45 seconds in to the main event of UFC 329, he tries a flying kick, which I would, I guess, not recommend you try to Bison either, but also at a trained UFC fighter. And the rest is infamous UFC history now because he blows out his knee, and that is it for him. Conor McGregor, I had that. He stinks.
Wow. So I didn't even see that. I did not. That's UFC. I didn't see that at all. He tried to flying kick and tore his knee? Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look at this video.
It's just so bad.
Thing I had over the weekend, and this has been going on here for the past couple of weeks, and I try not to put so much in to the NBA Summer League, but I am a diehard NBA fan, so I watch it every single year. But I will say this draft class, they look like studs. They just all look like studs. Like over the weekend, Bonsa, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, Darius Acuff, like across the board, every single one of them has looked like an absolute hit. And I just can't wait to see this class come into the season this next year. It makes it so exciting when you have the good young players in the NBA, and every single one of these guys, they look different. Like you can watch the Summer League, and a lot of it isn't that much fun to watch because the level is just a little bit lower than the actual NBA play. But every single one of these guys look about 3 steps ahead of all the NBA guys that have been in the league for the past 3 seasons that are playing alongside them.
Yeah, it may end up being a generational group. By the way, Bruce Thornton, good job out of him with his Summer League debut as well, which was cool to see. The World Cup's been awesome. Once I started to get engaged in it, we were Saturday night having dinner outside of Baltimore and with a whole bunch of people watching England and Norway, and the whole bar was locked into it. Like everybody was into it, and then Argentina in the night game. It's been awesome, and it's been a complete hit, and it's been a very American World Cup, and that the stars have shined brightest, and the best players on the best teams have been the best players in this tournament, and it's won in a very, very big way. I did not have that. What did you not have, Reese?
I did not have we'd be talking spider camera scuttlebutt after Norway and England, where the first goal for the Three Lions kind of came off one of the wires of that spider cam, where I think Norway's goaltender tries to clear it, and it just bounces back, and nobody's prepared except for England. And Jude Bellingham was at the right place at the right time for their first goal, and I think he scored the second one in extra time. He's incredible, but that's kind of an incredible thing in a World Cup that's kind of, I don't know if it's been marred by controversy, but there's certainly been its fair share.
The VAR thing is tough.
It's bad.
I think it's been a really tough to not VAR that and get that locked in was pretty wild.
First thing I didn't have over the weekend in this story, sometimes when you read the stories, like this can't be right, can it? Bam Adebayo, he's gonna punch Tyler Hero in the face in an incident in a Las Vegas gym, especially right now when the Heat, it's a little bit cooled off now. The Heat were trying to push for LeBron a little bit, and then you have Bam just punching a former teammate in the face. They were, apparently the actual incident happened because of leaked social media direct messages in which Hero appeared to criticize Adebayo's game and his match contract. And that led to you punching him square in the nose. I haven't seen, I don't know if they've leaked a video yet. Oh my gosh. I hope that's coming soon.
But Hero did that interview afterwards where he thanked Dublin's own Chris Quinn, among other people, with the Heat, and his face was fine.
I know.
So apparently Bam can't hit.
And he's huge. I was like, this is a horrible matchup. Like Bam so much bigger than Tyler.
Yeah, he didn't land it, I guess. I did not have that the Seattle Seahawks would be sold for almost 60% more than the Washington Commanders were sold. From $6 billion to $9+ billion. When does this stop? What is the number that makes you pause? Like, I cannot believe how these jumps are happening. From $6 billion a couple of years ago with Washington to $9+ billion. Stunning numbers in professional sports. And the Lakers were 10, so like this is what's happening now. Like these private equity operations and these multi-billionaires it's just a great business. Player who impressed, Reese, who do you got?
So Jude Bellingham for England was impressive in their quarterfinal win over the weekend, but I'll give some more love to Bruce Thornton, who in their Rockets Summer League win over Denver, I believe this was back on Friday night, he had 27 points, 16 of those in the second half, 3 steals, and 3 3-pointers made. Bruce is an undersized guard, but look, I mean, he said after the game, and as has been shown in the past couple months, undersized guards can do some pretty great things.
Mm-hmm.
Impressed for me over the weekend, going back to Patty Pimblett on Saturday night. He came out on top with a 52-second submission. I was at a bar and we had the fights are on and we're kind of a little bit paying attention to it, a little bit not. And then all of a sudden they go, "It's over." And I was like, "What do you mean it's over? It just began." After 52 seconds, he put him into submission. Incredible. I didn't even get to see it. That's how quickly it happened.
I'll go Jude Bellingham here. He was sensational in one of the greatest sporting events I've ever seen, where I didn't really care who won when they played Mexico at Azteca last week. And then he backed that up in a quarterfinal where he scored both goals, was Johnny on the spot, then gets serenaded by Hey Jude. Like, he might be the best player in the world, right? He's on a short list, and he's an England dude. Like, I don't know when those have all lined up before, but it's a pretty remarkable thing to watch how all of that has happened. Player who disappointed, Reese, who do you got?
For me, it's Major League Baseball and their commissioner, Rob Manfred. It was known that Rock Chalowski was going to be the number 1 pick for a while by people who care about these types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Shortstop from UCLA was one of, if not the best prospect. The White Sox were probably going to take him. And you botched the name of the number 1 overall pick. Now, what worked out for Rob is that nobody was paying attention because you decided to have your draft on a Saturday in July at 1 o'clock. So, and I know that all Rob Manfred likes is being the boss of baseball and just being able to send those letters and those emails that say from the desk of the commissioner of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But my guy, you've got to know better than that to botch the first name you hear in the draft and then to try to do a draft, which is supposed to be a big deal on a weekend where nobody's paying attention to your product. You have all week.
Yeah, do that in prime time, man. Come on.
And you know before. It's not like it was like, "Oh my gosh, it's such a shocking first overall pick."
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to say this name.
Just try to look like you care.
It wasn't Anthony Bennett, like, coming out of nowhere. I mean, this was known.
For me, and this guy was all over everywhere last week and back in World Cup action, Erling Haaland. He was everybody's guy. And then and I'm not a soccer guy, but getting subbed out. I hate getting subbed out. And so your player that everybody thinks is the star, which obviously he has been the entire World Cup, you want to see him on the field. I don't like seeing him get subbed out. I'm sure he's exhausted, but I hate that.
Player who disappointed for me. So I've been doing these rental cars for these long trips to not put the miles on our cars. And we need one a little bigger for all this lacrosse gear. So I've been doing rental cars. So I'm in. This is Saturday after the game's on Saturday, and the Jeep Grand Wagoneer that I'm driving, it is saying that the rear lift gate is open, but it is not. And so it is beeping, it is doing all of these things, and I'm trying to get it won't respond to anything. So I call a Jeep dealer in this area of Baltimore that we were at, and I get a hold of a guy. And I explain the circumstances. I said, I'm 6 hours from home. Like, can I bring this in? He's like, service closed at noon. Yeah, I said, I'm sure that it did, but is there anybody there that might have a quick fix for something like this? I don't think so. I said, can I talk to a manager? Sure. Puts me on hold. They hang up. I call back. Hey, I was just on hold. Can I talk to a manager? I'm just looking for, is there a simple way to fix this or something I haven't thought of? Is there a way to kind of get this sorted out? Let me put you on, let me get one of my sales guys. Sales guy picks up. Give him the circumstances. I just started here 3 weeks ago. I really don't know anything about it. So you're telling me that if you are a Jeep dealer anywhere in USA and something happens on a Saturday, nobody in the operation has any sort of cheat code how to fix anything? That's where we're at? It's a bad job out of you. It's a bad job out of this specific dealership. Very bad job. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, Reese. Who do you
give it to a Guardian skipper, Stephen Vogt. Your entire roster's injured, feels like, and new injuries every other day for Vogt. They're on a 4-game winning streak going into the break. All you got to do, because I don't trust the White Sox to make to at least maintain the heater they've been on in August and September. I don't trust anybody in that damn division, but for the Guardians, all you got to do is just be one game better.
And Jose's getting close. We're almost there. It's late July. For me, also, MLB, Chad Tracy, the Boston Red Sox manager. They put together 9 in a row, winning 14 of their last 16, so they're hot right now.
Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, the maintenance guy at the Hilton Garden Inn in Bel Air, Maryland, who came out, climbed into the back of the Jeep Grand Wagoneer with a screwdriver and manually got it to open. God bless. I gave him a 20. It seemed like appropriate for his time. He was appreciative. That's a win. Good job out of him. Got us on our way. Coming up next, when you are on the big stage, you actually have to stand under the spotlight. We'll explain next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place, here with a happy customer.
Wilson's trying very hard.
Thanks, Mom. I mean, Margaret.
Wilson, is this your mom?
Yes.
Mom.
Wilson, your mom should like your windows.
Oh, I wouldn't know. We actually have Pella windows.
Mom!
They've really lowered our energy bills.
I'm going to go wait in the car.
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
At Bank of America, we support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge. What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is Mary at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
Hi, I've been dreaming of having an epic college setup.
But your college budget is less than epic.
Way less.
Well, with IKEA, you can get everything you need for college, from bedding to storage and decor, all at a great price.
That's good economics.
Sounds like someone just found their major.
Visit IKEA in-store or at IKEA.us to get ready for college. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
One bite in, you'll be saying, that's hot as fire. Speedway's new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich turns up the temp with spicy breaded chicken on a brioche bun. Top it your way with pickles, a little hot sauce mayo combo, and more. It's a hot sandwich kind of summer. Don't just beat the heat, eat the heat. The new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich. $4.99, only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. Toppings and sauces sold separately. See app for full terms.
Common Man and Timmy has been voted the dumbest show in America.
What size pant are you in?
That's a Puma pants, and you know that it's wrong.
It's a 38.
Here's a comment from a real listener. I just started listening to the stupid show. It's minimal sports discussion with large amounts of absolute nonsense.
Why don't you just put on a sundress and sashay around the town square?
Common Man and Timmy reaching new heights of stupid. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on The Fan. Ohio's nonsense destination.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Reds are on the Fan's family of stations all season long.
If you don't listen, Terry Francona will ride his scooter to your house and yell at you.
Your home of the Reds.
The Fan 2, and the Fan 3.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
That mostly sunny sky for the morning hours continues right into the afternoon. There's a very slim chance of a passing shower later on. Otherwise, it's warm, highs in the upper 80s to around 90. Warmer yet for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine with highs in the lower 90s. Heat index well into the 90s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. The show that understands the importance of a situational beverage. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And as always, we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Settler, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. The NBA, the WNBA has certainly been having a moment for a while now. Popularity continues to go up and up. There's also some uncomfortability with it, right? There's some political stuff that's happening around the treatment of Caitlin Clark, of which Caitlin Clark wants and asks for none of it, but for whatever reason, she's been thrust into it. And so there's some of the socioeconomic stuff's at play here too. And it's hot button. There's no question. But at the same time, you have a sport that for the first time, you have you have an ability for players to make really good money while playing in that sport. You have more people watching it than they ever have before, in large part because of Clark and her popularity and everything that came with it. But there's been other great players who have now, the light has been shined on, and that's been a little bit awkward for everybody. There's been some pretty crazy jealousy and stuff that's out there as well. You have the Sophie Cunningham meme, which took over the social media 2 weeks ago. And so at the front of all of this is Kathy Engelbert. She is the commissioner of the WNBA. So this last weekend was the Celebrity Pro-Am golf tournament out in Lake Tahoe. Dan Patrick goes to this every single year. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is out there. She was playing in the event, and the following took place. So again, this is Dan Patrick. And for the kids out there, I think everybody probably knows who Dan Patrick is. You ought to, certainly one of the titans of our business and of radio, TV, all of it. But beyond that, any questioning with Patrick is going to be probably pointed, but it's also going to be fair. There's not going to be any gotcha moments with him. He's going to ask you fair questions, and all you have to do is respond to it. So here is Dan Patrick, courtesy of his show, explaining what happened between him and the WNBA commissioner.
Go back to when the Caitlin Clark incident happened. We reached out to the WNBA all morning long. We needed, just give us a comment. Does anybody have a comment on this? Is anybody there at the office? We couldn't get a hold of anybody. So Paulie, during the show, is trying to track down somebody so we can at least let the WNBA have their say, have their voice, get out in front of this. But don't say yes, and then all of a sudden somebody probably said, in my opinion, oh, maybe we shouldn't do. Well, at some point, you have to do this. I mean, if you want to be treated as a serious league, then do these. This is what happens. These are tough questions, but this is a fair outlet for you, a fair platform. I will treat you with respect. But when you tell me, and then 2 hours later, with no update, and then we get a feeble response, like, come on, like. And she's 50 yards away. She's hitting practice shots out of the bunker. So that's what's disappointing. We deserve more respect than what she gave us yesterday. We want to cover the WNBA. The PR staff, somebody did a disservice to this. That's all. Somebody made the call, but this is an important league. There's expansion. There's conversation. It's been agendaized. Everybody has something to say about it. Now you have a chance to answer these questions.
There's another thing at play here, and I'm curious where you guys being younger than me, where this kind of lands for you. There is a legacy media belief almost that these are the things that you do. You come on this show, you give your interview here, and this is what you do to establish your legitimacy. I don't know Kathy Engelbert at all. I don't know the WNBA's PR staff at all. We don't talk a whole lot about it, obviously. It's possible that their view of this is what is becoming more and more the view of professional sports teams, which is we really don't need to do any of that stuff anymore. We will talk directly to our fans when it is required. And it's that silo of information thing we talk about all the time. Like, we're just going to stay in our little silo and not go outside of it. And I wonder if, to me, this lands very poorly, because I think all that would be there is to be gained by going on Dan Patrick. That would all be stuff that is to be gained. So I don't see the negative for the WNBA or the commissioner at all in doing it. But I'm also will acknowledge that a lot of people are treating traditional and even non-traditional media very differently now than they used to, because so many of them have their own voices that they can use and their own platforms to get their messaging out. Where did this all land for you guys?
So I heard about this would have been Friday. So she, I guess, agrees to the interview. And then on Thursday, they're going to have the interview taped and then do it or air it Friday. And she agrees and then cancels. And she's hitting practice shots while they're doing Friday's show.
Yeah.
So she's, like he was saying in that cut, 50 feet away, and they can't talk to her. That felt to me that if they want to be taken as seriously as they would like to be in the same breath as NHL or Major League Baseball, I mean, after I was just crushing Rob Manfred for being a bad commissioner there, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to present yourself seriously. And avoiding an interview that you agreed to is not that. Like, you cannot go on Dan Patrick's show, but don't agree to do it and then renege on it. Is the worst thing you can do, because he's going to have that respect.
Then this.
And now you're being talked about for a lot of this is for all the wrong reasons. Like, you want to promote your athletes, you want to promote your brand, you want to promote the games, you want to promote your competitive spirit, you want to promote your playoffs. And what's being promoted is your commissioner skipping out on interviews. One of your star players is being choke slammed onto the court. None of this is positive for a league that is supposed to be on the up and up.
And to your point too, Bo, I think that there is a shift happening, but I don't know if it's happening for the WNBA. I think it's happening more for the Browns and maybe the NFL, NBA, to where you're able to get straight almost directly to your audience. And if you need to put out PR, you can put it out right on Instagram. Here's our message. But for the WNBA, they're still trying to reach an audience. Like, their audience isn't full yet. And so for them, I think their biggest opportunity is also like their biggest challenge right now, which is when you get more eyes, it's just there's going to be more scrutiny. And how do you handle that is going to be something that they're trying to attempt to do over the next probably couple of seasons as they go through this growth period. But you can't ask for more coverage, but only want softball coverage. I want the underhand pitches. I don't want any overhands. Yeah. You got to be able to take both of them. So I do think that there is a way for them to reach their audience. But I think if they want to reach more audience, they have to kind of take these kind of things head on.
I always say this to PR people. Like, take it all head on. Take it all. Don't hide. Don't try to stall. Don't release statements. Like, when things are being talked about. Get in front of it. Own it. It's always worse if you delay. Always. It's just like what you tell your kids. Tell me the truth right away. You tell 16 lies, and now you're in trouble for all 16 things. You tell me the truth right away, you're in trouble for one thing. That's much easier. Just get out in front of it. This isn't even that big of a deal to handle this. This is a nothing burger of a deal to go do a 15-minute interview on Dan Patrick. Yes, some of they're going to ask you hard questions about the way that the league is officiated, and there's going to be some of that. But so what? You're commissioner of the WNBA. You can handle some questions from a journalist.
And if you can't, you shouldn't be the commissioner of the league.
No.
And the NBA was doing this every night in the playoffs. Wemby elbowing people in the throat. Like, this was an every other day thing for the NBA. So for the WNBA, I mean, this might feel like a big deal for them right now, but goodness gracious, this is not a big deal.
Well, look at what we're talking about and how we're discussing the league.
100%.
Like this.
You know who used to do this, guys? Garber used to be like this with MLS. He used to do a lot of this type of stuff with MLS. Like, try to curate everything. Like, just own it. Own it, get in front of it, handle your business. Austin Ward in 2 minutes, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
It doesn't have to be the holidays for you to donate to a Salvation Army Red Kettle. Now through August 1st, you can give a little, change a lot. The Salvation Army is partnering with Atlas Butler and Jets Pizza to support local families at participating Kroger and Walmart stores. SalvationArmyCentralOhio.org for locations.
Whoa, what's all this? These screens, the food?
All for the game, bro.
Dude, let us pitch in.
No need. I've got it all covered. With T-Mobile, I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet.
No way. Really?
Yep, and the price of my plan won't change for 5 years.
Wow, I'm definitely switching to T-Mobile.
Goal!
Here's to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle fast, easy to set up, all-in 5G home internet with 4 phone lines on Experience Beyond. And your plan price? Guaranteed for 5 years. Stay connected con tu gente and catch every match with T-Mobile. Join now at T-Mobile.com. Price guarantee on talk, tax, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Savings based on third line free via monthly bill credits. Internet discount with $15 in monthly bill credits and auto-pay discount. Qualifying credit required. Credits may take up to 2 bill cycles and will stop if you cancel any lines or change plans.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible. But Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Join us for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, July 24th and 25th. We guarantee the best price year-round, and Wedding Weekend adds an advantage you won't find anywhere else. Enjoy preferred bridal pricing up to 30% off for 1 weekend only. Visit Diamond Seller, July 24th and 25th.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by Wright Pat Credit Union.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, The Beat with Austin and Berm on YouTube and the Roosters live show. I am at a youth lacrosse game in Baltimore on Sunday morning, and one of the parents of one of our teams comes over and he goes, "What do you make of this?" And he hands me his phone, and it's you and Berm talking about this running back from Tennessee and how Adidas is helping Tennessee land him and Nike isn't. And I go, well, first of all, I was proud. I'm like, yeah, those are my dudes. Yeah, these are my guys. Like, and then I missed it. So I didn't hear this in the real time Friday because we were on the way over there. And then I was like, wait, this is happening? So every time I think that I get to the bottom of everything that's happening in this sport, another curveball is thrown. So just for our audience who maybe didn't hear, or the folks who don't follow the recruiting as closely, there's a big-time running back. It's between Ohio State and Tennessee. Tennessee is now back to be an Adidas school, previously a Nike school. And Adidas is helping with that? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so as Tennessee is working on its future athletic and sponsorship package, it has asked this partner, Adidas certainly wants Tennessee to be its most effective representative that it could possibly be. It has been getting involved with the direct individual sponsorship for David Gabriel George. Now, I think where, some of the, frustration or gray area or both occurs here is that Ohio State would like, first and foremost, for its top sponsor, its top supplier, to be involved with its individual athletes as well. And that's not really what Nike wants to be doing. You think even if you look at the highest level NBA, Major League Baseball, they have some endorsements, the World Cup and soccer, but they have not gone as far, Nike, with signing those partnerships because they don't need to. They are the most famous and unquestioned biggest brand in athletics wear. And so they've sort of like moved beyond the individual deal. Well, that's not the case for Adidas. It's not the case for New Balance. It's not the case for Reebok. And so Adidas is more willing to do some of those things. And so part of the debate we had, and even I was with my family in Wyoming over the weekend, both, preparing, for services for my grandmother. But he's like, you guys got a little argumentative on that show more than normal. And I like that. And I was like, well, yeah, because I don't know. I think Nike is probably not wrong to not be involving itself with NIL deals and recruitments. B, Tennessee is going to do everything it possibly can to find the biggest pot of money for someone like David Gabriel George, because on merit, it cannot win a recruitment against Ohio State. When you line up every single factor in that recruitment, including Carlos Laughlin's relationship, including Ohio State's success, development, Mickey Marotti, everything that we've talked about over and over, head-to-head against Tennessee, the Vols cannot win that argument, and they cannot even really come close. So, yeah, now here's the other part of this that I can't answer, and maybe Ryan Day can't answer either, or Mark Pantoni. Is Adidas only involved with David Gabriel George because of the Tennessee factor, or would Adidas still sign him if he wound up at Ohio State? I don't know that answer. I don't know. I can't answer if there's some sort of threat that's like, if you walk away from Knoxville, then Adidas money does too. I can't imagine that would be the case, Bo. Yeah. But I do not know that. So it is still, whether that's Jeremiah Smith or Marv in the past or Emeka Ibuka, it's not as if Ohio State prevents Adidas or other brands from signing their athletes. So I don't know how that will play out, but it is just one more headache in the minds of the people in the Woody trying to get this across the finish line.
And so just to be clear, Jeremiah Smith is Adidas, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
that can happen.
Yeah. So what I think is interesting about this, and this kind of ties into basketball and Darren Peterson. So Darren Peterson's an Ohio kid. He got a 7-figure deal from Adidas after his sophomore year up at CVCA in Northeast Ohio, and then he had to go to Huntington Prep and Prolific Prep and all of these places. And I remember when Ohio State was recruiting him, and I said, well, he's not going to a Nike school. Yeah. Like, he's going to an Adidas school. And guess where he ended up? Kansas. Guess what Kansas is? An Adidas school. So Adidas has been doing this in basketball for a while, and I New Balance did it with Cooper Flagg. Like, this has been happening in basketball for a while. Jeremiah is the outlier here in that he's an Adidas and a Nike school. But like, if Adidas wants to really flex here, and I'm thinking about now Penn State's an Adidas school after 30 years in Nike. Tennessee, as you know, as you covered them, they bounced back and forth between Adidas and Nike through the years.
Yep.
This is a new wrinkle. If they're going to, and like, are they involved at Texas A&M too? That's another Adidas school. Are they at Notre Dame?
Right. Yeah, and I would be interested to see if that's the way that this goes, because there is a real difference, and we've often talked about this from the basketball perspective and how quickly and more easily you can overhaul that roster because it's smaller. Is it really going to be lucrative, beneficial, intelligent for Adidas to expand its football endorsement roster to hundreds of athletes at Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Tennessee, wherever? I find that unlikely personally, but it's certainly something that could happen, and maybe that would just be 3 or 4 players a class, which is certainly maybe more viable for them, which still becomes a problem and an annoyance to Ohio State if they're focused primarily on 5 stars, which they would have to be in this case. But it does get more challenging because you look at someone like South Carolina. Nike did sign Lenora Sellers, but the Gamecocks are not, to my understanding, moving towards Nike and not wearing Nike.
No, they did. They're Nike this year.
Okay. Right,
yeah, they flipped.
Then there we go. I hadn't seen that part of it, but I had seen the Lenora Sellers deal. So, maybe that does become part of it. And I think that's also why, maybe Ryan Day or Mark Pantoni would be like, look, Nike, this is a guy we want. Now, Lenora Sellers is a quarterback, and he's an established one at that. So every single business, and you and I had this conversation, Bo, like 8 years ago at this point, and I remember it vividly. Like you and I both talked to, people in Columbus, people that sell advertising, that have advertising that they are trying to place, and they don't view 17 and 18-year-olds as the surest return on investment. So every scenario is going to continue to be different, and that's also what makes it so, incredibly challenging at this time, and without collective bargaining, without clear-cut salary caps, is that these things are still going to continue to pop up every couple of weeks that you never even thought about before.
Is he this good?
He seems to be. this is the part where I also get into, a devil's advocate argument with Berm. You look at the film, and you think about the times that Ohio State has won the championships in the last 25 years, and you're talking about Maurice, and you're talking about Zeke, and you're talking about Travion and Quinshon. You have to have a guy like this to win a championship. Now, does that mean as a true freshman that he is that for 2027, that you would devote so much of your salary cap? And, I mean, you're basically paying what you paid for Travion and Quinshon Judkins up front to land David Gabriel George. That's how much we're talking about. And again, when we focus on the Adidas or Nike wrinkle in this, Ohio State is not – they may get outbid by Tennessee. They are not cutting coupons here. This is the most lucrative deal that they have ever put together for someone in this position. So this isn't a spot they're just throwing up their hands like, we can't do it and we don't want to. They desperately want to. Everybody in that building believes that and they've spent the last 2 years making him the emphasis and building up the war chest and putting in the time and learning French and Haitian and all those other things because they believe that he is that good. I would trust their judgment and their evaluation on that. I have been of the mindset, if you're taking the NFL roster building approach, you have to be absolutely dead certain that this guy is Saquon Barkley if you're going to pay him like Saquon Barkley, because otherwise it's been proven by a lot of teams that not investing high-level upfront, finances and contracts with these guys and taking 2 or 3 running backs instead can work out really to your benefit. So they believe strongly that he's that good. If they miss out, what do we have, 10 days or so until the announcement at this point? Maybe less than that, 8. Ohio State will be able to move on and have a huge amount of ammunition to go out, and whether that's in the recruiting front for the next 2 guys on their board or the transfer portal, where word is absolutely going to be out, Bo. I mean, it has been out. If they don't land David Gabriel George, every agent and every running back in the country knows what Ohio State is willing to spend in 2027 at running back. That is on Front Street. So I say that to say they believe that he's that good, but there would be other players, I think, that would probably be lining up to take that offer, and then Ohio State may have its choice of anyone in the country at that point. Who knows? I'm not trying to set the table for them to lose, because I do also believe they've done everything that they possibly could to win it, and there's a reason that you're not seeing a lot of those crystal balls and projections flip the other way to Tennessee. Most people still believe Ohio State is in the pole position here.
Jeez. Fascinating. Never ceases to be, my friend. Sorry for your loss, by the way. Sorry for your loss.
That's all right. That's all right. It was great to be with my family together, even under bad circumstances. And you'll love. We popped up to 10 Sleep, Bo. They have a new brewery there for the several hundred people that live. But they had a food truck with an old woman who had Indian fry bread with sourdough that started up there in Montana and it brought that down. So we got the cinnamon sugar and choke cherry syrup for that. And I thought about you and when she told me about that recipe. So that was cool as well. But prayer, my rest of my folks are still out there. So appreciate the thoughts and appreciate that very much.
That's undefeated. Indian fry bread's undefeated, brother. That's a good job. That's a very good job. So sorry, brother. And always good catching up with you. We'll do it again next week.
All right. Thanks, both. See ya.
All right, that's Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin Ward. You want to know what's going on in recruiting? Just listen to that. Just listen to that. Download it, listen to it. You'll be smarter, kids, with what's happening listening to those two guys. We'll get you some Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
They say
gigantic overdraft fee.
At Right Pat Credit Union, we say, hey, mistakes happen to the best of us. They say,
due to high call volumes, wait times may be longer than expected.
We say, how'd the kids' soccer match go? They say,
gotta maximize those shareholder returns.
We say, you deserve better. Right Pat Credit Union. Banking done right. Federally insured by NCUA.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
One bite in, you'll be saying, that's hot as fire. Speedway's new Hottest Fire Chicken Sandwich turns up the temp. Eat the heat for $4.99 only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. See app for full terms.
Common Man and Timmy here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Timmy, that new hotel is open, and it's amazing.
It really is. Also, we have Red, White, and Win drawings on Saturdays in July. You can step into the Flying Cash Machine for a chance to win up to $2,000 in pen cash.
And the best part, all-you-can-eat crab legs are back. Be here on Tuesdays in July and August from 4 to 10 for Canadian snow crab legs with butter, corn on the cob, and Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, Hawaiian rolls. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Making ends meet matters for Ohio families. Congressman Mike Carey is working to help you keep more of what you earn and get the benefits you deserve. Mike Carey supported the Social Security Fairness Act, helping ensure public servants like teachers, firefighters, and police officers receive the full benefits they've earned. And Mike Carey is working to deliver tax relief for more Ohioans. Congressman Carey backed historic tax cuts for working families and seniors. That plan eliminated taxes on tips and overtime, expanded the child tax credit, and provided thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Because whether you're working, raising a family, or planning for retirement, every dollar matters. Visit carey.house.gov to learn more or get help accessing benefits or dealing with a federal agency. Congressman Carey's office is here to help and fighting to help your family keep more of what you earn. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Carey.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County fire station or buy online. For more information, visit 10tv.com/beattheheat or lifecarelines.org.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Warmer weather, longer days, lighter meals, more time outside. Summer gives weight loss a head start. Awaken 180 gives you the plan to make it happen. Ride the momentum with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Buckeye Replay this summer takes you back to some of the greatest comebacks in Ohio State football history.
This week, it's the game from 2005, Buckeyes at Michigan.
Hear Buckeye Replay this Saturday at 1 p.m. on The Fan.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so the general NBA consensus is that LeBron's going to make his decision sometime this week. And, of course, he's probably going to lead us right up until Friday. I would guess Friday at 12:01. You're getting the LeBron James decision. So we can break it all down next week. But this from last week from Shams Charania of ESPN. He was covering NBA Summer League and, of course, the entire association's on LeBron watch. And he says, from Shams, quote, some of the leading suitors, some of them have been able to send a voice note to LeBron James via Rich Paul. Whether it's an owner, a president, or a general manager, being able to record a voice note, send it to Rich Paul, and hopefully makes his way to LeBron James, end quote. Thing or not a thing?
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they're doing it this way. I just thought they were over this. I just didn't think, like, my hunch is on this that he's probably known for about a month that he's going to be a Cavalier. And maybe I'll be dead wrong and he ends up somewhere else. But I just think there are way too many breadcrumbs, way too many things. And I am surprised that they are doing this song and dance for this long. And I'll tell you something else. If they somehow choose something other than the Cavs after all of this, whatever goodwill he has remaining in Cleveland, which I still think there's a pretty decent amount. I think it's split kind of 50-50, which is probably surprising to some people down here. There's probably half people are kind of sick of him still, too. So it's an interesting kind of dynamic up there for some of the people. But I will say that if he goes somewhere else after all of this, I think that goodwill will probably be burnt. So to me, it just feels like he's known he was going to go there for the last couple of weeks. And so why are we having... You know, I saw the guy, was it Bob Myers, who was on, like, Rich Paul's podcast, pleading with him? You know, kind of selling the Sixers side of it? It's just all weird to me. I'm a little surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be that they're going down this road.
And to your point, too, Bo, it does make it worse. If he would have just immediately, right off the rip, not done any of this, they'd been kind of quiet about it, and then they had just chose the 76ers, they had chose the Warriors, that would have been one thing. But all the song and dance, it's almost like rubbing it in the face of Cleveland if he doesn't go back, that he was advertising himself and made the best bidder win. But I'm also on the point of Reese's here. You don't want to send voice memos. Voice memos never pan out. I have too many of my girlfriends that have always... Voice memos always come across as weird. They never come across as charismatic. So if you're ever going to send one, if it's not to one of your friends or maybe to a family member, then I would skip those entirely because they don't come across as good as you think they might.
Like, you guys both think he's Cavs, right?
Yes. I hope so, because if not at this point, I'm going to be crushed.
Yeah, I think it's done.
So the famous Nathan's hot dog eating contest took place on the 4th of July, and last weekend's event averaged 5 million viewers across ABC and ESPN2. That more than triples last year's event, and it's easily the largest audience on record for that event on television. Previous high was 2.8 million for a taped airing back in 2014. It immediately followed a FIFA World Cup match. Thing or not a thing?
It's a stunning thing. I mean, these numbers are stupefying to me. I've never watched this thing. Like, I used to when I did, like, weekend sports. I would, like, run the highlights of this at, like, the end of a sports cast. So, you know, from that standpoint, it's never appointment viewing for me. It kind of grosses me out. It's not for me at all. I don't understand how 5 million people... I mean, that's more people than watch, like, Major League Baseball games. That's more people than watch the Stanley Cup. That's more people than watch... regular season, almost anything other than like decent sized college football games. 5 million people watch that dude scarf down hot dogs. I can't wrap my head around how that this has happened. It wasn't a big deal. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't a big deal. I think Kobayashi kind of put it on the map, and then Joey Chestnut just elevated it to just a totally different level. But it's not for me. This number is stupefying to me.
And like for me, I feel like on a holiday, a lot of people are just relaxing at the home. Maybe you're in a cookout or something. It feels like to me, it's like the smallest version of like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, where like I turn it on. Am I really like locked into it? I'm not, but it's just like, well, that's Thanksgiving, so I'm going to put it on. And that's what you do. And that gets upwards of like 34 million viewers. And so this is like the babyest version of that, to where if it's July 4th and I'm at the house doing a cookout, if it comes on in an hour, like it's probably just the next thing that's coming on TV. I'm going to have it on, but I don't know how it grows. Like, what is the storyline? Maybe Joey starts to fall off and someone can finally come within 7 hot dogs of him, because right now there's a 30-dog margin. It's not even like it's a real competition. He's just going to win.
But, dude, they doubled their biggest audience.
Yeah.
That they'd ever had. I mean, it's crazy.
I think it did help to have it on ABC, because I had seen Wimbledon. They were obviously showing the tennis tournament that day, and I saw it on ESPN too. I'm like, well, nobody's going to be... I didn't know how many people would be looking for it, and apparently there's a great amount of people. that are looking for this thing. But this is the first year for me, Bo, that I was a little disgusted watching it. Normally I watch it with great enthusiasm, but this year I'm like, I don't know about these hot dogs.
It's a lot about that.
Late last week, Texas's University Interscholastic League ruled by a 4-1 vote that Colton Nussmeier is ineligible to play this fall at Denton Ryan High School, where he had transferred earlier this year from Flower Mound Marcus. The 4-star Georgia commit had his appeal denied because it was determined Nussmeier was transferring for athletic reasons. The 6'4", 200-pound quarterback is the youngest brother of former LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. He is expected to look for a destination with less strict transfer rules so he can play this fall. Thing or not a thing?
You know, it's pretty interesting to me for all of the Wild West that I think I perceive Texas to be. And I've been there a lot, but just kind of the way that I think that they run things. Remember with Quinn Ewers, they wouldn't let him take NIL, and that's how he ended up here a year early. And now this one, like this is the first. So this is the first kid that transferred to high schools in Texas for athletic reasons. Like
Audible
it's just
gasp.
Yeah, like Voodoo Taylor. Buddy Gary was trying to get him to go to in Friday Night Lights, was trying to get Ray Voodoo Taylor to come to the Dillon Panthers. Like, this has been going on for a long time in high school sports. So, like, why is this the bridge that you decide to die on? Surprises me a little bit.
Especially right now. And, like, is it fair to punish a kid for making a decision that will impact his future? Like, this is clearly his future. And so these are tough conversations. Everything that happens at the NFL level starts to trickle down to college football. College football, it trickles down to high school. It's just how it works. It's just how quickly does it trickle. And right now it's trickling.
Yeah, absolutely is. All right, coming up next, we kick off 20 most interesting programs with the program of the summer. They are the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Despite the loss of Brendan Sorsby, where do they go from here? And are they going anywhere long term? My hunch is no. We'll kick it off with them next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation. With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Join the Reds July 27th through the 29th as they take on the Cleveland Guardians in a 3-game series presented by Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste. Tuesday, the 28th, is another Tarps Off Budweiser 3-2-1 Tuesday. Fans can enjoy select $3 beers, $2 bar-ass hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups, and cheer on the Reds from the Tarps Off section in the Kroger bleachers. Don't miss this epic battle for the Ohio Cup. Get your tickets now at reds.com/tickets.
Nothing feels better on a hot summer day than coming home to a nice air-conditioned house. If your AC is on the fritz, don't sweat it. Call the pros at the Waterworks Heating and Cooling. We service all makes and models and can provide great savings on a Lennox home comfort system that delivers that perfect feeling. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Services. Call us at 614-232-2222 and schedule fast service today. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Baseball's hit the All-Star break. Philadelphia will host tonight's Home Run Derby at 8 p.m. It will be a Netflix-only event. The All-Star Game's tomorrow night in Philly. The second half of the MLB season resumes on Friday. The Guardians are tied with the White Sox for first place in the AL Central and on a 4-game winning streak. Cleveland swept the Marlins in Miami over the weekend. Jose Ramirez is set to return sometime this month. In NBA news, the Spurs have given Victor Wembanyama a 5-year max extension worth $252 million. In college football news, Michigan's Board of Regents will meet on Thursday to reportedly decide the future of athletics director Ward Manuel. The Traverse City meeting comes in the wake of a $12 million investigation into Wolverine athletics during Manuel's tenure. And actor Sam Neill, who portrayed Dr. Alan Grant in the Jurassic Park movies, passed away this morning at the age of 78. This update is sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Peach ice cream is back at UDF. Right now, get 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a Monday edition of the program. Time to kick it off. 20 most interesting. Hit it, fellas.
We'll expand conferences. We'll expand the playoffs, but we'll never, ever expand our interests. Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs.
And we kick it off with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They have been kind of the program of the summer. They have kind of been the program of the nouveau riche, if you will, with Cody Campbell and all of his money. They're a pretty good team. They returned 13 starters, 7 on offense, 6 on defense, key transfers. How about their entire defensive line comes in the transfer portal? Of course, the keyest of all transfer would have been Brendan Sorsby, but of course he is not playing this year. They were 12-2 a year ago. They won the Big 12. They lost in the quarterfinal game. It was a game in the Orange Bowl to Oregon, 23-0. Jacob Rodriguez and that defense for Texas Tech was a formidable one a year ago. This gives you an idea of where they're headed. Their 24/7 recruiting class rankings for this year was 15th. Not bad. Certainly better than what they used to do a decade ago. So they are a program that's in the mix on the recruiting side of things. Their national portal ranking was number 6. That number, of course, would have been higher had Brendan Sorsby had been allowed to remain in it. Joey McGuire is the head coach. Former Texas high school coaching legend. He was a Baylor assistant. They hired him 4 years ago. He's going into his 5th season. He's 35-18 there. 8-5, 7-6, 8-5, 12-2. They are the epitome of this era. They're the poster child of it. You could argue SMU's kind of in this too, but in a very different way. SMU's paying their own way in the ACC. Texas Tech is, from my vantage point, eating out of both sides of their mouth on this thing a little bit. And I think it came home to bite them in the Brendan Sorsby way, in the biggest way possible. They are spending at the very top of the sport to build a roster. They are ultra aggressive in the portal. They are pretty aggressive in high school recruiting. They have endless supply of oil money backed by former player Cody Campbell, who, if you watch college football on a Saturday, you see his face over and over and over again, pleading for, guess what? You guessed it, help from Congress to help them level the playing field on all of this. Texas Tech, from my vantage point, kind of wants their cake, and they want the cake, and they want to eat it too. And the reality is they want to be able to spend all that they can, but they also want to make sure that they're always invited to the party. So the reason that they are so adamant about congressional intervention in all of this, and if you looked at the SCORE Act or whatever we were dealing with a month ago that felt like it had a little bit of momentum, one of the big keys there was it prevented the Big Ten and the SEC from growing beyond what they are. It prevented them from gobbling up these other conferences. Texas Tech knows that they are not a program that's going to be invited to the SEC or the Big Ten. And so, but some people in their conference maybe could be. And so they want to make sure that they have a sandbox to play in. And that's kind of what they've been. They are the lightning rod of the sport at the moment. They have been. And the Sorsby thing was the kind of catalyst for it at the very, very height of it. Was him in the middle of all of it and them being the place. Guys, remember, they beat LSU for him. He was the number 1 choice quarterback in the portal. They beat LSU for him. And they will continue to overpay. And it's not just in football. It's in softball. It's in basketball. It's in other sports. They will continue to pay and be at the top of it. The question is there a concrete ceiling for this program that they cannot break through? Is last year as good as it's going to get? Can they get to a college semifinal? My hunch is that there is no ceiling for this type of program. I think Indiana probably proved that.
Yeah, does a ceiling like that exist for a program with unlimited funds and unlimited enthusiasm to spend those funds? That is Cody Campbell, and it feels like he has purchased the athletic department. He runs things in Lubbock, and even so far as to having dinner or lunch with Big 12 officials telling them, hey, the rest of those schools, they're going to start ponying up a little bit more and paying their way so that we can all eat a little bit, or at least have, at least have more shots at a college football playoff appearance, like BYU maybe. For Tech last season, they had kind of run through that conference. They had one loss to Arizona State, but then they got in the college football playoff, and even with Jacob Rodriguez, even with David Bailey, they got shut out by Oregon.
They did.
And so your one chance at a national spotlight didn't really go well, and now you have no Rodriguez, you have no Bailey. As you had mentioned, you went into your portal for your entire defensive front. You're hoping that a linebacker transfer from Missouri can be the Austin Romaine, the 4-star from Missouri, or Kansas State, excuse me. And I don't know what a 4-star out of the transfer portal means. If anybody knows it, I'd love to hear it. So they're without their 2 defensive stalwarts from last season. They don't have the quarterback, the guy that they thought was going to be worth $6 million, because their starting quarterback, or at least the guy they've tabbed to be the starter, Will Hammond, they said, well, we need to replace you because they paid $6 million for a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell this team's going to be, but I do not think it's going to be anything in the college football playoff. And, that was saying they weren't anything in the college football playoff last year.
But they were in it. And if they're in the Big 12, and even after losing all of that,
got to get those units.
They're still even odds to win the Big 12. They're plus 105. Then you go to BYU, Utah, Kansas State, down the line. But as long as they're in there, they are the class of it right now. That could change quickly. This season, if it kind of rolls back down a little bit, they could change. But the way they're pumping money into it, it doesn't feel like anyone else in the Big 12 is trying to overcome them.
I don't know who can in that league. I guess the conventional wisdom would be that Baylor and Texas Tech have money, or Texas Christian have money too.
And they do.
But are they willing to spend it? I saw Landman. It seems like TCU's got a lot of money. So it feels like they could sling it around a little bit. BYU's another one that could really sling it around. And then the only other one that maybe would be Oklahoma State, and that would only be if there are remnants of T-Boone Pickens, inheritance that people there want to get involved in a little bit the way that he did. You mentioned the quarterback in Sorsby, and that's really what takes them from being, and we'll go through the categories and identify where Texas Tech is in a second, but the Sorsby loss is monumental for them. Will Hammond is going to be the starter there. Now, he's coming off of an injury. He played quite a bit last year, and even started a couple games. He actually started in the Arizona State loss. He went 22 of 37 for 167, threw a touchdown, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And he had some moments, and I think they do believe in him. But basically, in fact, he was the quarterback of the winning at Utah. They won 34-10. He was the quarterback of record in that one. So the question then becomes, okay, but why did you not believe that he was ready for this? And I think what Texas Tech did is they said, this kid's good, but if we get Sorsby, we can contend for a national title. That was their belief. And so, that's the way that this happened. So now it will fall on Hammond, and he's going to have to be the one that kind of does it. Obviously, if you go out and you get Sorsby, your intent is to go win it. They're going to be a step back from that. But if you look at their schedule, there is nothing here that I look at that leads me to believe that they cannot navigate this to the tune of 10-2, 11-1. I just don't see it. I think the Big 12, a lot of these teams are coming way back to earth in a big, big way. And I just don't see anything on here that is scary at all. The one that you're going to want to pay attention to probably will be, and it would have been even crazier if Sorsby was there, is going to be the game at Cincinnati, because the two athletic departments are kind of going at each other in terms of who knew what and when they knew it. But the rest of the schedule, and it's just a reflection of, I think the Big 12 is kind of in an in-between year. They don't play BYU. They're not on the schedule this year, so they avoid them in the regular season. They're bringing their quarterback at BYU. They're bringing Bachmeier back. Everybody else on the schedule, there's nothing here that's terrifying to me. To me, this feels like 10-2, 11-1 at worst. And I think the other thing about Texas Tech is we got to get used to this. Get used to them. Just like we got to get used to Indiana. They're not going anywhere. What they've done at the facilities out there, Campbell's money, Patrick Mahomes involved to the level that he's involved in it. There are a lot of things, and Lubbock's an outpost, agreed. But I even think a show like Landman helps. That kind of romanticizes that part of the country a little bit. I think all of those factors lead you to believe that they are the bell cow in the Big 12 Conference, and they're going nowhere on the national scene. And a little teaser for what's coming up next in the categories, my hunch is they will be a team to be reckoned with, not just in the conference, but my hunch is they'll be a playoff team as well. Are they as good as they were last year? No, probably not. If they had Sorsby, would they be a team that you could see win a national title? Yeah, probably. So they're probably not there, but they're going to be in the mix, and we got to get used to seeing the Red Raiders for a long time at the top of the sport. We'll hit the categories with the Red Raiders coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
At CEC Turf and Tractor, family means everything. That's why we're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations to the CEC family. We're honored to carry on the relationships Green & Sons has built in these communities for generations while expanding our ability to serve you with more parts, more inventory, and faster response times. As one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers, CEC Turf and Tractor is growing without losing sight of what matters most: hardworking people, trusted relationships, and hometown service. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, this is D. Miller. Declare your independence from low testosterone at Low T Center. Start with the free T-test. Stay on the treatment for 90 days and receive $250 back. It's the Low T Center 250 for 250 offer. Book your free T-test at fixedbylowt.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear: strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
That mostly sunny sky for the morning hours continues right into the afternoon. There's a very slim chance of a passing shower later on. Otherwise, it's warm, highs in the upper 80s to around 90. Warmer yet for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine with highs in lower 90s. Heat index well into the 90s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Bo could quit today and become the school drop-off line coordinator. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to hit the categories on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And for the backdrop of that, it is Fight Raiders Fight. Let's have a listen. A little bit of it, remind me a little bit of OU's. The way that it comes in big with the horns right away.
It's very much a theme song you would hear when you load up NCAA football.
Yes, that's the first thing I thought as well.
All of these have that. They have that feel to them. All right, new categories this year. Let's start with this one. College Football 26 adaptability grade. So what we're looking for here, how are they adapting to the modern college game, Reese?
Oh, it's an A if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not, if it's not the front of the line, it's slowly crawling up to the front of the line. Transfer portal, NIL, booster enthusiasm, new arena or new uniforms, everything trying to be as up to date as humanly possible because they got a ton of money to throw at it.
Mm-hmm.
A for me as well on this one. I think a lot of people are using kind of Indiana as the poster child for the new college football playoff era, which is fair, but Texas Tech is right there with them, and I would not be surprised if 4 or 5 years from now they overtake that just because of the money spent. Indiana killing it in the transfer portal was fantastic, but Texas Tech is pouring so much money into their program. If they continually keep on doing this in a Big 12 where no one really is standing up to them, I think they could easily overtake IU as a poster child for how this has changed the college football playoff era.
What's the price of a barrel of oil? As long as that's high, we're good.
Well, didn't John Hamm say you wanted to keep it between 90 and 100?
I think so. There was something there in Landman about that. Yeah, it's an A+. I mean, they are the poster child for this era. They are the nouveau riche. They are, we can buy players. Let's go. We got funds to do it. They are as good as anybody. They've kind of come from nowhere with it. It's worked, and they're not going anywhere. I'm with you, Isaiah. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're going to be in contention for national titles in this sport in the next 4 or 5 years in a big, big way. Uniform brand grade. So we're looking for uniform brand, all of it. Put on your best Don Draper hat. Reese.
So they redesigned, or they released the redesign back in May, and these stink. This screams arena football. They have a new T within a T logo, and it stinks. The Patrick Mahomes logo is a P and an M, and it looks like a Spartan helmet. They're forgettable.
Oh.
I'm looking now, too, because for me, I just am imagining I had them down as an A- because I've always liked their uniforms. I think the blackout look, a lot of other teams have kind of followed that, and they were the ones with the black helmets. It makes me think back to, and this is going to come up as well, but it makes me think back to Michael Crabtree and those old black uniforms. It's one of the few players when I think of, I immediately think of the uniform, and I like the all black look for Texas Tech.
I didn't see that. Now I'm seeing them. Yeah, they're not spectacular. I will say, though, that I do love the Yosemite Sam guy that they use. I think he looks great. I see him on a hat, and I feel like I have no ties to that place, but I feel like I would wear that hat. So I'm going to go B+ with Texas Tech on the uniform brand grade. You kind of touched on this. I think I know where you're going here, Reese. Coolest to ever play at Texas Tech?
Well, I have, a lot of appreciation for Michael Crabtree, but it's Mahomes. The guy's logo is on their football uniforms.
The game that he played with Baker, Oklahoma against Texas Tech, where he threw for 740-some yards or something like that.
Still throw touchdowns.
Baker threw for 500 or 600 is one of the craziest. And I think it's Trotter. Jake covered that game. Jake Trotter covered that game. He'll join us on Wednesday, and he covered that game. I'll remember to ask him about it. But, yeah, it's pretty. You could go down the Mahomes route pretty quickly. Go ahead there, Isaiah.
I'm gonna. For me, it was Michael Crabtree was the first one I thought of. I think about the cover athlete for 2010 on the NCAA football game. Just a total beast back in the day. I mean, so many great plays, but he was the first player that came to mind immediately for me for Texas Tech. There's obviously a case to be made for Mahomes, but for me, it's Michael Crabtree.
He probably should have had more Heisman juice. Crabtree, I think he was a finalist once. He was the best player in college football for a stretch of time there. That in that last season that he was at Tech. I'm going to go a little off script here. Cliff Kingsbury.
Well,
I mean, he
certainly
played there. He coached there. That picture of him in the Arizona desert. Where is he now? Is he still with Washington? Is he somewhere else? Where did he land? Kingsbury. I can't even remember. But that photo
He's
of
the
him
assistant coach of the Rams.
Oh, he's with the Rams now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he wanted to get back to Southern California.
Got a house.
So he gets fired by Texas Tech. Gets a big buyout. All he wants to do is go live in Laguna. or Manhattan Beach and coach offense at USC, but then all of a sudden the Arizona Cardinals are like, hey, come coach the Cardinals? Okay, sure, I will. That picture of him in that spread in Scottsdale, that's as cool as you can be right there. Would they get an official visit from Vince Howard? Now, if you're asking, well, Bo, who the hell's Vince Howard? Vince Howard was the quarterback in Friday Night Lights at East Dillon. So this is Michael B. Jordan. By the way, him or Jamie Foxx in Any Given Sunday, best actual portrayal of a quarterback on film. They both are studs. Like, you can tell. Played a lot of high school football. And Michael B. Jordan looked the part as Vince Howard. Would they get an official visit from Vince Howard, Reese?
Yes, and they'd pay for it.
Of course they would.
It's an A+ is the grade, yes.
Of course they would get one from Vince Howard.
Absolute A+. That's the first thing I thought of, too. Not only is he rolling up 100% to Lubbock, but there's going to be a briefcase sitting there when he arrives, is how it would be.
Well, and the other thing is this would be the hometown team, would it not? I mean, we are Odessa Permian is where Friday Night Lights was filmed. Like, what is the distance from Odessa Permian to Lubbock? I mean, that has to be the closest yeah, it's 140 miles. Mm-hmm. That's the closest one you're going to get to, is that one. You're just going straight north up to Lubbock from Odessa. So, of course they're going to get in, and my guess is they'd have a chance to win him. I think it's
2026. You wanted to pick, it'd either be them or Texas.
Or SMU, but or A&M. I mean, there's several, but they would be, if he wants to remain close to home, Texas Tech is there, and they would compensate him richly, and he would be an absolute legend there. The coach is Joey McGuire, as I mentioned off the top. He's in his 5th year at Texas Tech. What do we make of the job he's doing and the job that he's going to have to do going forward, Reese?
I think it's an A, and I think his job's gotten harder because the expectations have gotten so much loftier.
Yeah.
I'd let B+ here for me, and I think he's been good, obviously getting them to the playoff last year, but the way they lost is going to stick in people's mouths, and I don't know if that changes again this year. I think they go back to the playoff, and it probably ends in a similar fate. I think they're the class of the Big 12, but I'm not sure if they're the class of the Big 10 or the SEC or whoever they're going to meet in the playoff isn't going to manhandle them the same way. I think how you lose at the end of the season can stick in people's mouths, not as a team, but for the coach. And I think that loss for Joey McGuire, that was a tough one. A lot of people were excited about that, and it didn't go well.
His path is one that is becoming more and more normalized. So Joey McGuire's 54 years old. He's been at Tech since 2022, so he gets the job as he's turning 50. He is predominantly a high school football coach. At Crawley High School, coaches D-line in the mid-90s, and then goes to Cedar Hill, where he starts as a defensive backs coach. I mean, think about this. You're 25 years ago, he's a defensive back coach at high school in Texas. Then he becomes the head coach there for 14 years, has a bunch of success, and then Baylor hires him to be the tight ends coach in the 17-18 season. What's kind of crazy about that, too, is it's almost like he survived the coaching change at Baylor, because he goes from tight ends coach, offensive coordinator, then assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, and then he was never even a coordinator. My apologies. Assistant head coach D-ends, assistant head coach outside linebacker, and from that, he gets the head job at Texas Tech. Pretty wild ascent. He's 35-18. They've gotten better and better every year, and with Campbell's money, and probably with his ties in the state of Texas, he's in a pretty good spot kind of going forward. I mean, he's a Texas native, coached high school football in Texas for a long time, knows the state. I'm going to give him a B+. I think they're in a pretty good spot with him, and eventually there will be major pressure, but he's probably still playing with a little bit of house money for a couple of years. So here are your categories on how we're going to define this team. Is this a win-it-all team, a make-the-playoff team, a too-soon team, so not quite there yet, or a flame-out team? Reese?
Unless the BYU Cougars, sponsored by Crumble Cookies, can knock off the Texas Tech Red Raiders, sponsored by Oil, in the Monster Energy Big 12 championship game, yeah, I see the Red Raiders in the college football playoff.
Feels like the front runner of the Big 12. I think that Texas Tech likely will come back and make their way into the playoff, but that will be the furthest they'll go.
So I think I'm going to keep track of this year and see how close we are on all of these in terms of where they land. So I'm with you guys. I think this is a playoff team, too. I think they win the Big 12. I think they make the playoff. I think it's a very similar season to last year. Their overall record might not be 11-1, but I think you're going to have a lot of more parity in the sport this year. To me, this team screams 10-2, and it screams Big 12 champions, and it screams we'll see them in the playoff, and maybe it's another quick exit and then a reinvestment in funds to the point where they're really not going anywhere after that. So I think we got to get used to them. Think they're not going anywhere. To me, it feels like they're the class of the Big 12 by a decent margin, and it feels like they'll be in the playoff again this year. For perspective on the Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Big 12, our old buddy Shahan Jaraj is going to join us coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread yard work, in 90-degree weather.
Wow, it is a scorcher out there today.
With a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around. Then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Celebrate Star Spangled Savings with Logan Services. Right now, save up to $3,000 on a qualifying train system. It's hard to stop a train. Free same-day estimates, next-day installation. Logan Services.
Summer is here, and there's no better time to upgrade your ride than at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're towing the boat, heading to the lake, or planning the ultimate family road trip, now's the time to save. Get $299 APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2026 Toyota Tundra, or lease the 2026 Camry LE for just $319 a month for 36 months and $399 due at signing and 10,000 miles per year. Make this your summer adventure with the team at Germain Toyota of Columbus, conveniently located at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus, where summer savings are in full swing.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, for perspective on the Raiders, the first of our 20 most interesting programs this summer, we had it on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He's a national college football writer at CBS. He is our Cody Campbell bureau chief now. I think we've coined you that as well. Shahan Jaraja joins us. Thank you so much for the time. Let's go back, before we get into tech, let's go back to last week at Big 12 Media Days. What did you make of how the conference handled it? Some contentious moments it looked like between some of the Texas Tech beat and your mark. How did the plane land on all of that last week?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm never going to like when a commissioner kind of declines to take questions about a pretty pressing issue. But other than that, you know, I thought that it honestly went pretty well. I thought that the Brendan Sorsby stuff did not dominate Big 12 Media Days the way that I expected it to. And, you know, I don't even think that Texas Tech necessarily dominated the headlines the way that I maybe expected. And, you know, when I talk to sources around the Big 12, I mean, a lot of them are like, look, here's the reality. Like, we just don't want this whole event to be about that. We don't want this whole thing to just be the entire conference essentially being questioned constantly about a situation that we feel is resolved. And, you know, that was one of the reasons I think that they were so sort of assertive in the way that they filed that injunction to prevent Brendan Sorsby from playing in the first place. So, you know, I think overall it ended up working, though, again, I typically am in sort of as a rule against commissioners saying we don't want to necessarily take a question.
So from my vantage point, John, I look at the league and I go, Texas Tech is their Ohio State. Like that's their, where as Texas Tech goes going forward, the Big 12 will go. They have the money. They're organized. They are benefiting tremendously from this version of college football that we are in right now. If not Tech, or if I'm off on that, please correct me. Is there another program that you look at that could consistently be on that level with everything it takes to be competitive in this version of college football that we're currently in?
The only distinction that I'd make is that I think that they're new money more like Oregon, but that's really the only kind of semantic distinction that I'd make. But okay. I do think that, BYU is a program that I'm very interested in. They've actually recruited at a very high level these past couple of years since getting into the Big 12. They just landed a 5-star quarterback last year in Ryder Lyons. And so, they definitely are a program that I think is competing. And, is it at the level of Texas Tech? They're probably right now half a step behind, but I think that they can certainly close that gap with some smart positioning. And there are other programs that I think have the upside to get there, right? I'm kind of waiting for one of Baylor or TCU to take on the mantle and kind of compete at that level. But, right now I do think that Texas Tech is competing in a class of its own. And look, I think that everybody's going to talk about the quantity of money, and that's obviously a big part of the story. But I think that it's also they've been really good at having a plan of how they want to build a roster, of identifying in the transfer portal. I mean, again, everybody can point to the guy, everybody knew that David Bailey was going to be really good, but their hit rate last year on transfers was, 90%. Like, you just don't see that very often in college football. So I think that there are other teams that have the capacity to compete, and BYU's chief among them. But, Texas Tech is kind of pressing every correct button right now.
Two other teams in the league I want to ask you about before we get to kind of a deeper dive on Tech. Number one, Colorado. Deion comes in a couple of years ago and I'm bringing Louis. Well, he brought his kid and he brought Travis Hunter. They win a Heisman. He wins 10 games. And I know they got a massive recruit a couple of years ago at quarterback who's now in position to play. But it feels like that has ran its course a little bit from my perspective. What do you make of what has happened with Colorado and Deion? Do you think there is life after Shedeur and Travis Hunter there?
Yeah, it was. I definitely was holding on to the ability to write the phrase. The Louis ended up being counterfeit last year. That was a lot of fun. But it's interesting, right? I think that what is unquestionably true is that and I mean it's a positive and negative way. Like, the circus of Deion is over. I think this year at Big 12 Media Days. The past 2 years, there have been crowds following him around, people just looking at him at his every move. That was gone this year. He was interviewed. Obviously people wanted to talk to him. People, obviously were there at the podium. But, it was much lower key than it's been in previous years, and ultimately it's because they've gone, 3-9 into the past, or 3-9 and 4-8 into the past 3 years, right? There was only that one season, and like you said, I mean, there hasn't really been a vision of life after Shedeur and Travis to this point. Last year, I actually thought that they were ironically coached pretty well, but just the talent level has not been there. I think that the fatal flaw for Colorado has just frankly been that they think that they can approach the offensive line from an NFL mindset of replacing the pieces. That's just not how it works in college football. You're not going to transfer in a great offensive line, and I think that that's been existential. I like the hire that they made of Brennan Marion as offensive coordinator. Frankly, I'm not saying that it's for next year, but I do think that down the road it could be potentially a head coach in waiting situation. People kind of view him as a future major college head coach, but I just look at this roster right now, and there are individual pieces that I like, but it is really hard to kind of go through and find a vision of a program that I think can compete with almost anybody in the Big 12.
Speaking of personalities, no Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State for the first time in an awful long time. Eric Morris comes in. He brings his quarterback with him, Drew Mastemaker from North Texas. Oklahoma State in the T. Boone Pickens era was a program that, honestly, they would have flourished in this era. Now I'm not sure what to make of them. What do you make of that, and how important is it for the league for Oklahoma State to regain something at least to the top third of the league? And do you think that Morris is the guy to do it?
Yeah, no, it's huge for them. I mean, like you said, Oklahoma State is one of those programs over the last 20 years, I guess you'd say, that has been one of the stalwarts, right? I mean, there's been Texas and Oklahoma, but Oklahoma State was kind of right there with them, along with Kansas State as well. And so I think that the thing I love most about the Eric Morris hire is that it feels like it's kind of getting back to some of the basics that made Mike Gundy a great coach early in his tenure. And what I mean by that is, I mean, you have to go back to 2021 probably was the last time that they had passable quarterback play, not even good quarterback play. Mm-hmm. Well, Eric Morris might be, and I'm including, Ryan Day and Lincoln Wright, like anybody, like he might be, the best quarterback developer in college football. If he's not number one, he's top five, right? Like you talk about the guys who have come through his program. By the way, at Incarnate Word in North Texas, and last year, for example, John Mateer was recruited by Eric Morris. Obviously, the famous one is Cam Ward. Patrick Mahomes worked with him at Texas Tech. Even if you want to talk about the Chandler Morris level at Virginia, like they have had so many guys at programs, by the way, where they're just frankly, very disadvantaged. The thing I love about Eric Morris coming in at Oklahoma State is that he comes in with a little bit of a scarcity mindset of, what we're used to not having. The first time that I met him was actually back in 2019 when he was essentially coaching out of high school classrooms at Incarnate Word. And now he's going to be in an advantage program. And I think that between his offensive skill set and mentality with his quarterback development, bringing in, by the way, like you mentioned, the number 2 overall quarterback in the transfer portal, Drew Mestemaker, who, by the way, never started a game in high school, and basically Morris found him and recruited him as a walk-on. When you talk about Caleb Hawkins coming over, who was, I think, the number 2 running back in the portal, Wyatt Young as receiver, a top 50 player, all from North Texas, like, this is going to work, I think, and I think it's going to work pretty quickly.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that for a lot of the reasons you just mentioned, my friend. Let's do Tech now. Obviously, I think I know the answer to this, but how big is the loss of Sorsby? How big is the drop-off? I guess what I'm asking is, if he would have played, what was the expectation for this Tech team? And now that he's not, how much has that expectation changed?
It's interesting. I view Sorsby in the context of that Texas Tech roster less as a floor raiser than as a ceiling raiser. And what I mean by that is I think that in the Big 12, it might not cost them very much at all, right? Like I actually picked them to go 12-0 with Sorsby. I think that they're maybe looking at more like 10 or 11 with the schedule that they have. But I expect them to be in Arlington. I expect them to still win the Big 12, to still be in the college football playoff. The question for me, because I think talent-wise, going to Will Hammond, I don't think is much of a loss in talent at all. Like, they really love Will Hammond, but he was a player who tore his ACL last October. He has not gone through, obviously, spring practice. He's not going to get a chance to go through most of fall practice as well. So you're just talking about a player who is going to be thrown into his first major situation, and it's just ultimately like it's a lot to ask. But at the same time, it's going to be a question of can you get Will Hammond ready by December, not necessarily can you get him ready by September. So with Sorsby in the lineup, I mean, it would have been the expectation to try to win a playoff game, and maybe more than that. With Hammond in the lineup, I think that it would be considered success if they essentially replicated what they were able to do last season and make it to the playoff and lose in their first game. But I think that they still would really like to try to get a little further than that because, again, I think that one of the existential issues, obviously, as somebody who covers the Big 12 that they face a lot, is like there's a lot of really good teams in the Big 12, but there's no teams that can actually compete with the top of the top. And I think that whether it be Texas Tech or, by the way, whether it be BYU, who's a team that I think has a chance to make the playoff, I think that it is critically important to the Big 12 that they develop one or two teams that can actually not consistently beat the Notre Dames and Ohio States, but at least hang on the field with them.
I couldn't agree with you more on all of that. I'll get you out of here on this one, my friend. In the next 5 years, will we see a national championship caliber team at Tech?
It's a great question. I mean, look, I said 2 years ago or a year ago, I guess, when I wrote that story, I've kind of been of the opinion that the Big 12 will not, maybe in the next 10 years, produce a national championship caliber team, but it's actually not the guys that they brought in, who are awesome, by the way. It's the way that they're recruiting right now. They are recruiting at an incredibly high level. They've got like 8 kids in the top 100 already committed. They have right now the number 1 player, Jalen Brewster, committed. And he's being pursued by a lot of other schools, but he's stuck firm so far. Like, this is just stuff that I never expected to see in high school recruiting from Texas Tech. You know, they got some big swings over the last 2 years. They haven't had the sort of quantity of production that they're going to have with this upcoming class. So, you know, look, national championship level is really high, but I do think that the sport has changed a little bit, where it rewards you for identification and development. It rewards you for retaining your players, for having a good plan, for taking good swings. You know, I'd probably lean against Texas Tech winning a national championship in the last 5 years, but I think it's possible, and a year ago I would not have said that.
Buddy, I just watched Indiana win it. If they can do it, they can. So
100%.
If you can do it in Bloomington, you can do it in Lubbock. I promise you that. Great stuff as always. Always enjoy the conversation. Thanks for your time, Shahan.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, there you go. Shahan Jayaraja joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Get you 3 things on a Monday. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
This is Mary at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
Hi, I've been dreaming of having an epic college setup.
But your college budget is less than epic.
Way less.
Well, with IKEA, you can get everything you need for college, from bedding to storage and decor, all at a great price.
That's good economics.
Sounds like someone just found their major.
Visit IKEA in-store or at ikea.us to get ready for college. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Offering the guaranteed best price is always our baseline. Wedding weekend adds an exceptional advantage. Join us July 24th and 25th and enjoy preferred bridal pricing on select wedding and anniversary bands with advantages up to 30% off, plus special no-interest financing on engagement rings. It's a rare opportunity to pair meaningful value with exceptional service and reputation that define Diamond Cellar. Discover Wedding Weekend July 24th and 25th at Diamond Cellar on Selma Road or Easton Town Center.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Warmer weather, longer days, lighter meals, more time outside. Summer gives weight loss a head start. Awaken 180 gives you the plan to make it happen. Ride the momentum with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
It's time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down. Plus tax, title, first month's payment. 7,500 miles per year. Ends 8/3.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red-hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Common Man and Timmy are putting together a hangout at the radio station for a small amount of listeners. Pizza will be involved. Ping pong, too. Lots of inappropriate conversation. And don't forget, pin the tail on Teddy. Tell Man and Timmy why you're the perfect guest by emailing goodcleanboy@gmail.com.
Presented by Billiards Plus and sponsored by the Ohio Poultry Association.
The event takes place Thursday, July 30th, and all email submissions must be in by July 27th. Enter today.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hi, Reese. What have we on the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, will Michigan fire their athletic director, Ward Manuel, by the end of the week? 86% of respondents say yes. The Board of Regents is meeting Thursday in Traverse City, Michigan, because, of course.
Nice place.
Why would you meet in Ann Arbor when you could go to Traverse City?
No, you put it on the tab. Nice little resort. Play Acadia Bluffs. What is it? Crystal Dunes? Something Dunes?
Sounds right.
Crystal something.
We have to get our
Crystal
bureau
Downs.
chief.
Crystal
have to get
Downs.
Beamer, our Traverse City bureau chief, on that.
He is our Traverse. Yeah, Crystal Downs is the golf course up there. That's like a top 50. All right, and what about our Penn State Michigan question? How'd that end?
So we'd asked at the top of the show which team has more college football wins over the next 5 years, Penn State or Michigan. 62% of respondents say the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I kind of lean that way too with Matt Campbell. I think I might lean that way as well. All right, time for three things on a Monday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number one for me, I mentioned that I had a temperamental Jeep Grand Cherokee as the rental car for this 400-plus mile trip to Baltimore that we did over the weekend. So we go to dinner, and as we go to dinner, I'm like, the gas, it's got 78 miles, so I'll just get it Saturday night. I'll get gas on the way back. We'll be fine. There's 78 miles left on the gas gauge, and I don't like to go low on that. So I noticed it. So we go in to have dinner, and we're at dinner, and then on the way out, my wife's like, hey, we're going to take a couple of these other kids home. So now all of a sudden I've got my wife, Bootsy, and three of his little buddies. The two older kids went with somebody else. I go out to get to the car, and it had poured, and it was really sweaty in Maryland. The car was running. It ran for an hour and a half. Full air conditioning. Now panic is setting in. Oh, my God. I have no gas. I've got all these kids who aren't mine. It's one thing if I run out of gas with my kids. I'll deal with it. But now I got other kids who are going to be in the car, too. I get in the car. I don't understand how it was running. I turned it off. I have no idea why it was running. None of it makes sense. Everything was in the car. Anything could have been stolen. Just open the doors. I had the key in my pocket, by the way. So none of this made any sense. So we go and get in the car. No negative story here. We get to a gas station, which is a block away. It's a 25-gallon tank. It took 24.9 gallons to fill it. We were at the very end. If there was one more post-drink cocktail, we would have been SOL. Yeah.
Is that because that's something I do? And I'll make this my first thing is where I see the gas light come on, but I'm waiting until that ticker is at least a smidge to the left of empty before I'm like, I got to fill up.
That's how Kramer used to go. I don't do that. If the light goes on, I go. It's not worth it.
My commute's not terrible or long enough to where I have to really worry about it, but yeah, I push it.
I'm the same way, Reese. For me, first thing, over the weekend, I did my bachelor/bachelorette party for my wedding. Me and my soon-to-be wife, we did it together. And I found on the way there, you kind of have that little bit set in where you're like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And on Friday, we were going straight to the boat. We were doing a boat day on Friday, and that would just send us into the weekend. I get there on Friday. We go out on the boat, having a blast, and I'm in my Crocs. I wore the Crocs on the boat.
Okay.
I get back to the house, and I realized I didn't pack any other shoes. The only shoes I've got for the whole weekend are Crocs. So for every single photo, and it wouldn't have been a big deal if it was just the guys' bachelor party, because it would have just been me and my friends. We wouldn't have taken any photos, as men do. Since my soon-to-be wife is there, we're getting a million photos. And in every single one, the dismay of her looking at me with these Crocs on. I look ridiculous.
What color were they?
They were black. So they kind of like
forgivable.
It blended in a little bit more. They weren't like white or yellow or something crazy, but still you could clearly tell they were Crocs.
You're essentially a 14-year-old because they basically wear those things everywhere.
Exactly.
I wore
them to the bar. Like we went to the bar, and I was like, I have to wear. The only shoes I have are just these Crocs, so that's what I wore.
I may have to relitigate if you actually had a bachelor party or not. We may have to have a chat about that tomorrow. Number 2 for me, I'll just say it. Crab cakes are overrated. They just are. They are. I've been to Maryland twice this summer. I get them every time. I go, this is the greatest place for crab cakes. Okay, let's have it. It's fine. It's fine. They're not bad. I'm not suggesting that they're bad. I'm just saying that crab cakes and football and all of that, just give me the crab. I'd rather just have the crab with a little butter. I don't need the cake.
So doing a little bit of work during the show, we've got a Red River rivalry over the next 2 days for our 20 most interesting programs. You've got Texas tomorrow and then Oklahoma coming up on Wednesday.
Oh, bigly. Boy, Red River back-to-back. The Horns tomorrow.
We're staying in the Lone Star State. I figured, we can do a lot of the SEC while you're here.
Yeah, that's a win.
Coming up here for Rothman and Ice, we got Adam Schefter joining at 1:30. Ian Fitzsimmons coming on at 2:30. So hang around and join those guys for a great Monday.
All right, number 3 for me. I watched episode 1 of the Dutton Ranch on Thursday. I'm in. I'm in. It's candy. It's cotton candy. It's cake, but it's fun cake. And Rip's got the answers to the test, and Beth and all of it. I'm in. Annette Benning's really good. Ed Harris sold. I'm in. I'm gonna. It's one episode in, so now I got that and House of the Dragon. I'm in on both.
Yeah, the cast for Dutton Ranch is pretty spectacular.
It's elite.
So it might be something I dive. There's a lot going on right now, DVR and streaming wise for me. But I was thinking, my final thing, we were talking about Monster Energy, how they're the new sexy sponsor for the Big 12 Conference and likely for the Big 12 title game. No more Dr. Pepper football toss. Instead, at the half, are you to be doing Monster Energy? And if you really want to be extreme Monster Energy, you do not let them do chest passes.
Yes.
You ban the chest pass, and then you also add fireworks and motocross to your championship game halftime show.
I like it, Reese. Fire me up. Final thing for me, and this will go on throughout the week, but I'm heading to San Antonio this weekend. I've been once, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to need to start working on some recommendations of places to go in San Antonio over the course of next week. I leave on Friday, so we have some time.
We've got some Texas folks who listen regularly. I'm sure they can help you out with that. Rothman and Ice coming up next. Have a great Monday, everybody. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan.